Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
What's up, everybody? How we doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
A little bit good.
Thank
Let
you.
me host this.
Hello, you beautiful people.
Oh, I'm a DM you, Chuck.
Well, I need to be on my own channel to host something. Okay.
How have all of you guys been?
Pretty good. I had a cough on and off for the past week. It's hurting my ribs.
I have COVID.
Yeah, COVID.
Oh, COVID. Oh, Christ.
I'm coming down from it though. Mine's on the way out.
Okay, first Chuck.
You're really
You will.
excited. I'm really excited for being really tired for the next however many weeks, as I'm still just fucking exhausted.
Yep, that's the worst, honestly, that I've had. Is it's just the tiredness and the like the body soreness, you know.
It doesn't go
Anyway.
away like Steve had 3 weeks
I've been
off
getting
of it,
sore
and
from all these
15
constant
days.
workouts.
Oh, Eddie looking swole.
No, not at all.
Egg mash.
My chest though has been getting very firm, and I like that.
Shoutouts to Mash for the raid. Thank you, homie.
Jesus,
My
we're getting
chest
rated already.
Getting very soft
Holy
because
fuck.
all I do is eat cupcakes and eat cupcakes.
Hello, Mash. Hello,
Come on,
Artie.
Cupcake.
Thank
Oh, we'll
for
wait for you,
joining.
Mash.
Always wait for Mesh.
Oh yeah.
What's it for Mash? We've got all the Scottish people joining the chat at the minute.
Hell yeah.
And I got put on my Discord to see if Michael's wanting to come in early or anybody's wanting to come in.
Mash
You're
is an
roboting.
honorary Scottish person.
Been adopted by the Highlanders.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the roboting, yeah.
Artie
Oh,
is also Scottish.
I wish this would load faster. Come on, load.
We've earned the right to be shaped like pears. Like
Me and you.
anybody. We're living through the nonsense that's going on in the world. If we want to be shaped like pears, we're gonna be shaped like pears.
Pear-shaped motherfuckers.
Excuse me, can I introduce you to our Lord and Savior, pear-shaped motherfuckers?
There we go. Hashtag Bushy Boys, hashtag pear-shaped motherfuckers.
I'm aiming for that inverted triangle again, you know, eventually.
Ooh. Gotta get that Gronk going. Like
Hey, Cusco's poison.
Oh my god, disconnected for a little bit.
Poison for Cusco. Cusco's poison. Poison made especially for Cusco.
let's just do an Emperor's New Groove read. Like, let's just do it.
I mean,
A script read. Let's just do it.
I'm down.
I'm 100% down.
What
Who's
was
David
it?
Spade?
What?
David Spade. No one wants to be David Spade.
I'll be David Spade. I love David Spade.
I don't even think David Spade wants to be David Spade.
No, David Spade definitely does not.
I
want to
will
be
not
David Spade.
accept the slander for David Spade. I will absolutely not. That man is a treasure.
Wait, are we playing a game?
I think so.
Get me going.
What game are we playing?
I'll
What?
play a game of 4 hours of talking about how David Spade's the greatest thing ever.
Hello, we have one of the OG Bushy boys in the chat as well.
Mr. Valiant,
Oh, what's
shout out,
up?
Mr.
dude.
Valiant.
yeah.
Love you so much.
Miss you, buddy. You went off on a quest to kill somebody. And,
Yep.
Yeah.
Must have failed.
It failed, obviously. So thanks for that.
it's okay. We won't hold it against you. You're
I
still my
will.
magistrate. I think.
Yeah, you never know. He was a member of the same dragon family that the current Empress is a member of, so might be doing some secret missions.
That's true.
Oh, well, that's fun.
Trying
I am back. I don't know what happened.
Internet fun times. Family business. Yep.
I see that, and he keeps
Oh,
roboting.
is mine being shit? Hold on.
Yeah. You go kick the shit out of that internet. Show it who his boss. Show it why you lift
Hopefully
heavy
that's
weights.
Is it better? Is that better?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you know what it is? I got a VPN. I got a VPN after last week's game, and it really slows down my internet just because my internet's really shit just now.
My
trying to, like,
VPN
up my
does the
bandwidth.
same thing. Like
trying
it's
so Chuck, see up your bandwidth. If you get decent bandwidth, level out something. I've just got shit bandwidth.
like I just anytime I'm doing anything like not sketchy or I just don't have it on.
Yeah, that's what I usually do.
I don't need them to know that I'm just video capturing things for Pornhub 9 hours out of the day. So
What?
And with that note, that was Samurai Sunday.
Samurai Sunday, All Out War and Rokugan.
I was eating and I
Oh
Did you
man.
just say Paul and Rogan?
So was
Rokugan.
somebody in one of those
I
videos.
said
Eddie.
Paul and Rogan.
Pornogun?
Mario.
Pornogun.
One.
There's magic. You can send like memories and images. There's porn in Rokugan.
2 seconds, like I'm
Japan.
dog sitting in my.
There's
my
a Shugenja
dog's
network.
fucking nuts.
Just that.
Oh, it'll be like the old school Japanese illustrations that you see with like octopuses and stuff. all
Yeah,
that's
naked
exactly what I
dishes.
thought of.
OG hentai.
Yeah.
Kisho's got a new
around.
business.
We've got a visitor. Ta-da!
We do.
Look,
Oh.
Popper.
this is Mario.
Mario.
This is he's my nephew's dog. Oh shit! Right, he's gone. Bye. We're getting a.
My dogs are scratching at the door.
Look at you,
Watch him
Kieran,
for a
showing off your
feeding.
tattoos and how fucking muscly you are.
Hmm.
Bastard.
I just got it done. So
Oh, he's
Yeah.
got the pump going
Uh,
on.
We might, because we all know he's your
This is
fuck, so
not-
I'm sure he has a supply.
It's alright, your name
Um,
tag on the stream covers it, so no one can even see your muscles.
I saw your fist. Oh, there we go. Look at you.
and then that's it.
No.
I'm gonna go eat my feelings now, so it's whatever.
What the audience can't see is he's actually scrawny as shit, and like he has zero arm muscles at all.
Just the arms
just-
are built. There's nothing else.
I'm just really fat just now is the real problem.
That's
Yeah,
it.
cool.
That's my next character in chat right there. It's mine.
COVID Christmas does that to you.
Need to add a soul redemption for Flex too.
Yes. A bard who just makes hentai. That is gonna be how I give my inspiration.
Like mid battle, you're drawing. You're just like, it is like here. This is for
not
you.
drawing,
It is
I'm
still.
just minor illusion, the image, like video on demand. Boom,
It's an image of them fucking the enemy.
boom. And this is how the stream got kicked off. This is it.
Okay. Are we all ready to
Yes.
Ready.
begin? Yeah.
Yes.
Then I shall recap. We are going into a period of downtime. But you guys have just all taken part in the first battle of a new war to rack the Empire Rokugan. The name that's it's still debatable at the minute for this war is the War of Falling Petals. Whatever the war ends up being called by the end of this campaign, the first battle will always be the Battle of Yasuki Hanko, where forces of the Crane clan came face to face with those of the Crab. On the edges of the town of Yasuki Hanko, just on the borders between the Crab and Crane provinces, after you guys, as the Emerald Magistrate, sent word throughout the Empire that the Crab clan no longer serve the Empress. They have seceded from the Empire, and they have claimed allegiance to the original dynasty, the Hantei dynasty, of which everyone sort of knows there has been no descendant of for at least 100 years. You guys, obviously, you went through the Crablands, you were with Lord Hidasota of the Crab Clan. You were there to investigate some murders and disappearances, which you uncovered were the result of the near mythical Spider Clan, whom most clans within the Empire believe are just a folktale, with the exception of Spider. You guys now know firsthand that that is not true. The Spider Clan are very much a real threat to the Empire, and that the Crab Clan, despite their purpose within the Empire to protect it against threats from the Shadowland, have now come under the sway of the Spider, who presumably have informed them that there is a Hantei descendant who should be the rightful heir to the throne. You found that the Kunai family, the witch hunters within the Crab Clan, have not fallen under the sway of the Spider Clan. They kept you guys safe when the Hida family sent forces to come and collect you. But in the end, you were all present when Lord Hidasota decided that he would go to the gates of Kyuden Hida, the capital of the Crab provinces, and you were all there when he committed seppuku before the gates, under the authority of the Emerald Magistrate and not the Crab Clan, in order to take that honour away from them. And that is also an event that is most likely going to go down in the history of the Empire. You all made promises to Lord Hida at some point along the way. You uncovered maybe some things about yourselves along the way during this adventure, and you came across one of Lord Hida's retainers who has now joined your company, Kunai Rin, who is the Shigenja of the Kunai family. But yeah, fleeing from, or like, it wasn't so much a flight. The Crab didn't seem to pursue you, but you left the Crab provinces to the arms of the Crane, and you all took part in that first battle of the war. Whether it was just to kind of protect yourselves and get safe away from enemy lines, or if it was actively charging into the front lines of the enemy on horseback like Kuro did, or fighting your way off of a bridge. Or even the case of Rin, you tried to mitigate some of the damage to the Crab forces. Well, being a member of the Crab family, you still have some allegiances there, even if you don't fully agree with your clan champion at the moment in time. The battle, we kind of cut to black, ended in a stalemate. The Crab are some of the best defensive samurai in all of the Empire. Even when led by the Yasuki, they managed to protect the town that they were holding, using the narrow streets and things like that as natural choke points against the Crane forces. The Crane, not being foolish in the ways of war, knew when it was time to pull back. and so the war, the first battle kind of came to a stalemate. Now, you would think that this should be a clear-cut case. At this point in time, it seems like the entire empire should be against the crab. But obviously within the empire there are factors to take into consideration. The Phoenix clan, for one, do not like to take part in war unless there is no other choice. And will always try and pursue peace. And that's something that is likely to come up in court within the imperial capital. There are other factions going on throughout the empire, and we'll sort of uncover those as we go into our few months of downtime. I'm kind of taking this as a seasonal approach, so like your first adventure when you're in Murasaki Shitoshi and you're dealing with the Mantis and Gaijin and the Crane clan, happened in the spring of your first year as Emerald Magistrates. This outbreak of war and what you did within the Crab provinces was during the summer. And so we're going to be taking some time, a few months of downtime, and we'll move into the sort of autumn of this first year of the campaign. So I know Chuck has a lot of stuff already written down for what he would like to do during his downtime. So I'll start with Chuck, and then we'll move our way around clockwise from there. So Will, you'll be the last one to tell me what you're doing during this downtime. Unless anybody wants to kind of pass to give themselves a little bit more time to think about it, but that should be the way that it sort of flows. So, starting with Bayushi Kisho, what are you intending to do in the few months that you have been excused by the Emerald Champion to attend your own business?
So the very first thing that Bayushi Kisho looks to get done is arranging handover with Lady Kuni, to make sure she gets that lock-a-pair and gets the Tatsubo that was promised to Hitasoda's daughter.
Okay.
And he personally wants to be there for that.
Okay, so we'll quickly sort of roleplay that. Where you return to the Scorpion clan, to your clan champion, who had been informed by the Yogo family of what was happening. The Scorpion clan in this situation, the Scorpion like to play things slowly and close to the chest. As far as you're aware, your clan champion is making no actions or no attempts to actively go to war with the Crab clan.
Yep.
But they have negotiated with the Kunai, and you are taken along with a sizable entourage of Scorpion Bushi. You're to be the face of this sort of entourage. So as you go, you're accompanied by, say, about 25 samurai, including your own Yojimbo.
Yep.
Who are all armoured, they're all armed. And amongst some of those samurai, there are Shugenja of both the Yogo family and the... What's the other Shugenja family again? Soshi? Yeah, the Soshi family. You're dealing with Scorpions, you're dealing with people that are possibly Shadowlands tainted. The champion of the Scorpion clan is taking no risks here. You are accompanied by some of the best samurai within the clan, and some of the best Shugenja within the clan. You're met on the sort of borders of the Scorpion provinces and the Crab provinces by a group of Crab samurai, mostly made up of Shugenja of the Kunai family, but also when you were in the sort of Kunai ancestral home, there would have been Hida and like Haruma family samurai there, who would act as Yojimbo to the Shugenja, or who are trained in the the Kunai witch hunting school or whatever, who are loyal to the Kunai family at this point in time and not the clan as a whole. It's a smaller entourage than what you've brought as a Scorpion, but they come with two important people. Or technically they come with 4 important people. On top of you coming along with the strand of hair from Lord Hida and the Tetsubo, when Lady Kuni arrives with her entourage, she arrives personally. She'll bow to you. Master Bayushi, it is an honour to meet you once again. I wish it was in better circumstances, but I believe things will get worse before they improve within the Empire.
That's why, Lady Coney, I'm glad we could make this happen.
You can see that behind Lady Kuni, riding on top of the horse, is a young woman, maybe somewhere between the ages of maybe like 15 and 18, on top of the horse. She's holding herself quite stoically. You can see that she has a daisho on her hip, and she has a sort of stern, serious look on her face for someone so young. And there's no mistaking it that she is Lord Hida's daughter. But you also know that Lady Kunai behind her has 2 small boys. Presumably her 2 sons. I have a request of you, Master Bayushi. I do not believe it is safe to keep Sota's daughter in the Crab provinces any longer. And that eventually I feel that the clan champion and the other forces within the provinces may turn against my own family. And I would prefer that my sons also no longer be kept within the Crab provinces. I humbly request that you, Master Bayushi, act as a foster parent to all 3 children.
Kisho just kind of stands there for a moment, expressionless, before giving a deep bow.
I will make sure that no harm comes to them, Lady Kuni. But what of yourself?
At this moment in time, the Crab clan is split, and I am the face of the faction within the clan who still loyally serve the Empress. It would be damaging to the morale of those who still loyally serve the Empire if I were to flee across the borders.
I understand.
She'll step back. Should have done this earlier. Generate some names, because that's the sort of GM that I am. I'm pretty sure I gave the daughter a name somewhere, but I must have not typed it up in the notes.
At this point, you see Kisho leans down. How far away from her are the little boys?
They're doing their best to sort of stand tall and bravely a few feet behind her. But you can tell that the youngest one of them is very unsure as he sort of looks up at all the Scorpion samurai with their various sort of styles of mask and stuff that they're all wearing. Particularly the Yogo Shugenja, they enjoy wearing the most terrifying.
Just terrifying, yeah.
Yeah, sort of oni masks that you can imagine.
Kisho steps forward and leans down, and the first thing he does as he leans down is he takes off his mask.
Hello there, little masters.
They,
What are your names?
both of them sort of bow to you. The oldest one, he speaks up first. Master Bayushi, my name is Kunai Hiro. And then the little one who, like, he must be only about 3 or 4. Can't speak particularly well yet. He's still sort of learning, but he managed to sort of say his name is Kunai Sosa. But he's looking at the mask that you're holding in your hand as if you've just pulled your own face off.
And it helps, but Kisho also taking off the mask, you see more of his scar. With the mask displayed, what you normally only see is you see like there's 3 just hairs that go across. But once he takes off the mask, you see the whole side of his face down. It looks like flashes and burnt flesh. It's healed over, but it's not exactly nice looking either.
Yeah. The scars actually seem to bother them less.
Being a crab, yeah.
Yeah, like as you said, even the Shigenja within the Crab Clan, when you were in the Kunai Castle, a lot
Crab
of them
got
were
scars.
scarred. Yeah.
Yeah.
The masks freak them out, but they've been told that, you know, Oni and stuff are dangerous, so like they're probably more scared of the mask than they are of your actual face.
He continues, and he hands his mask to Hiro.
Hiro sort of takes him and he sort of turns it in his hand and sort of, you see him like sort of thoroughly sort of studying it. He's like slowly moving his hand across all the grooves and stuff that make up the teeth and along the edges that make up that section where your eye is normally visible. You see Lady Kunai sort of look down at him quite proudly. I believe he already has a connection to the Kami.
Come with me, boys. Say goodbye to your mother. We will keep you safe.
The youngest one, as you imagine, like as you say, it starts to sort of cry and like grabs Lady Kunai's sort of robes. It starts sort of kicking and stomping his feet. But she sort of crouches down and kind of firmly puts her hands on his shoulders. And you hear her sort of affectionately. It was like when you overheard her and Sota talking and you heard her speak quite softly and affectionately. That time she has that same tone to her voice. But she sort of... Sosa? You believe in the Kami, don't you? The boy, like, sniffling, sort of nods his head. And you believe in your ancestors? He's sort of sniffling and nods. Then know this, that even if you don't see me again in the flesh, we'll see another once again as spirits. He sort of sniffles and you see, like, he straightens himself up. And she sort of puts her hand on the top of his head and places her forehead lightly against his. And they just sort of stay there for a few seconds, and then she sort of lets his hand go. And the older boy, Hiro, sort of takes his hand in her place and sort of leads him behind you instead. The whole time you can't help but notice that the young woman on the horse is just sort of staring at you.
And after the boys are let over, he will personally go to the horse, grab the Tetsubo, and walk it over to her.
she dismounts the horse and sort of like clasps her hands together and sort of pray motion and bows. Master Bayushi. Is that my father's Tetsubo?
It is, Lady Ida.
And as he says that, he will bow and gesture out towards her.
She reaches out and sort of grasps the handle of it. The Tetsubo is about the same height as she is. But you see her sort of heft it up and hold it. You can see her arms sort of shake a little bit with the weight of it. But she sort of holds it out in front of her in two hands, and you see her sort of study the jade like rivets that go up the length of it. And the inscription. I'll need to add my father's story onto this. I am, I suppose, lady now. Lady Hida Setsu.
Well, Lady Ida, you will be taken care of and no harm will come to you. And do know, whatever anybody says, your father was a great man among great men.
Bows her head to that. You can tell that she's putting all of her effort into not crying. She's of an age now where she's expected to follow Bushido, and so she's trying her best not to show any strong emotion.
Come, we must go. The longer we are here, unfortunately, the more dangerous this situation may become.
She nods her head and sort of climbs back onto the horse after securing the Tetsubo to it. Lady Kunai sort of bows again quite deeply to you. Then hopefully we'll meet again, Master Bayushi.
I do hope that as well, Lady Kuni.
She sort of turns. She gives one last glance back to her two boys, and then sort of gets back up onto her own horse, and her and the rest of the Kunai entourage sort of turn and start to kind of head back into the crab provinces.
So then, Kisho will hoist the boys onto his horse in front of him. And obviously, you stay close to Lady Hida and bring them back to the Scorpion Lands.
Are you doing exactly as she wishes and acting as the foster parent for all of the children, or are you delegating that?
He is acting as the foster parent to the children.
Okay. Your wife is quite shocked, obviously, when you come back with 3 children. But the 2 of you don't have any children of your own at this point. And you can see that she's actually quite pleased. Obviously, you being an Emerald Magistrate, you now spend a lot of time away from home. And she appreciates the company. She takes an instant liking to Setsu. Obviously, your wife aspired to be a Bushi herself at one point and practices Kenjutsu in her own time, but not formally trained within a school.
Yep.
But she takes to the young girl quite quickly. And you see her very quickly take to the 2 boys as well. Like, she'll like pick the smallest one up and kind of throw them up into the air and tickle them and things like that. And she goes out of her way to make them feel comfortable within your home. Okay, so what else do you have planned?
So with the rest of his downtime, he is spending almost all of it within the Scorpion lands, within court specifically, and trying to stay as close to his clan champion as possible. One of the other big things he was looking to do during this downtime period is actually one of the smaller things is to kind of poke around and see if anybody had more information on this so-called Spider Clan.
To do that, I'm going to need a investigation roll from you. Going to be a very difficult investigation roll.
Yep.
Realizing that I'm actually not logged into Roll20 yet.
I'm sorry. I'm not gonna give an excuse. Just know I'm laughing at something very funny.
It pertains to the game. It is related.
Okay, 31's a really good roll. You deep dive into the Scorpion's knowledge. Within the Scorpion clan, what's the name of them again? There is an organization.
Someone's Discord notifications going on.
That's my problem. My laptop.
Like I said, I'm sorry.
There we go.
There is a organization within the Scorpion clan. And now that you're investigating, you've never even heard of this sort of organization within the clan until this point. There's a group that are formed up of both Shigenja and Bushi. A combination of all the prominent families within the Scorpion clan, but seemingly headed by the Yogo and the Shushiro families called the Blackwatch. And you find that this particular branch within the Scorpion clan are tasked with keeping tabs on those within the Empire who are known to be tainted. Presumably they do more than that if they discover people who have not announced that they're tainted. But they have some knowledge pertaining to the Spider Clan. You hear, or you're able to obtain information from their records that they have had encounters with samurai who are not known within the Empire, but who have shown signs of Shadowland taint or of being Mahosuke on the edges of the Empire, within the Shinomen Forest. Shinomen Forest is particularly dangerous. It's a home, so the Shadowlands sort of stretch up and around the wall.
Yep.
And at times the Shinomen Forest has been known to be inhabited by Shadowlands creatures or things like goblins and kappa, malevolent spirits and things like that. but it's also a place frequented quite a lot by bandits and ronin and general undesirables within the Empire.
Yep.
But they do have accounts of encounters within the Shinomen Forest with powerful Mahosuke that they have had to put down, bearing spider web and spider emblems on their clothing, and encounters between Shosuro ninja with reported samurai whose skills have matched or on rare occasion exceeded their own in the arts of stealth and ninjutsu.
Hearing this, he's going to ask, especially with keeping track of the tainted individuals, if we know of any within prominent spots within the Emperor's or the Empress's immediate circle.
As far as the Scorpion clan are concerned, there is no one within the Empress's immediate circle who is known or even suspected to be tainted.
And then his next question would be of the courtier who is at the side of the Crab Champion, if they have any information on her.
So you are looking for information on Raikuto Psycho.
What was that name again?
I'll post it into
Okay, thank you.
because trying to
You're good.
just to make sure you get the right spelling. My pronunciation isn't butchering the shit out of it.
It's okay. You can see all the terrible names I have that I fix afterwards after I figure out how to spell them.
So I think it's Raikuto, and I'm pretty sure the first name is Seiko or Psycho.
Okay.
What they tell you in regards to your inquiry about this particular individual is that any Shosuro agents who have been sent to investigate Psycho have not returned. And since the war has started with the Crab Clan, the Scorpions have already made one attempt at assassinating her, and that has failed.
Oh boy. All right. That's all the information he needed from them. Oh, actually, no. Last question he had for them is, was there anybody within their own clan that they had any either interests in or were on their radar?
Any within the Scorpion clan that they have
Yep.
interest? They refuse to divulge that information.
All right, that is all he would need from the Black Watch. The other, a simple activity is Kisho, once again, trying to get the clan to pay for shit for him. As he would like to request some rearmaments be funded by the clan for him and his Yojimbo.
What are you requesting?
He is requesting 4 flesh cutter arrows, 4 armor piercing arrows, and 4 humming bulb arrows.
Okay, yeah. You will be granted those, that's fine.
Yeah, that's all. That's the only request he had for them. And then his other thing was obviously touching base with the clan champion and filling him in. Whereas all the clans got the message about the crab defecting and the crab champion essentially all the information was given to the Scorpion Champion.
Yeah.
And so during this, the rest of the time, Kisho is staying as close to him as possible.
Okay.
And trying to essentially interface to see if there's any direct orders that are going to be issued to him.
The same as usual. You're told that when the Emerald Champion obviously calls you back to action, that you are to inform him immediately of what you're being tasked to do, so he can fit the actions in case it runs counter to the Scorpion Clan's intentions within the Empire.
Yep. But yeah, he'll spend the rest of his time, obviously, with his wife and his new family. And he is going to, I guess, he is going to attempt over the 2 months, try to, from their lovely garden, put together poison to bring with him.
Okay.
Specifically night milk.
Night milk. You have poisons as a skill, don't you?
Yep.
Yep, so I'll take a roll from you.
Ugh, not great.
It's enough for you to distill a single dose.
Okay.
Okay. That you for your downtime?
Yep, that's me for my downtime.
Yeah. Kuro.
So, the first thing I'm doing is writing a Dear Slim Shady letter for Chuck. The letter is basically going to enclose on how he was supposed to return with me to my family home as he promised before, and how I'm going to let him off the hook because we did just start the initiation of a war, but it's still my Dear Slim Shady letter. So that's going to be made. And before I leave the battlefield, I'm going to hang out with my fiance for exactly 1 week before I return to the capital to have a meeting with my uncle.
Yeah. Yeah, you take the opportunity while you're in the Crane Clan lands to spend some time with Doji Asuki. She isn't particularly fond of the idea, but the Doji family sort of enforce it. They're like, you're betrothed to him, he's here, there is no better time than now for you to spend some time and get to know your betrothed. They even proposition it as that she is lucky that she even gets to meet you before the day that you're intended to be married. But the first meeting that you have with her off of the battlefield, she arrives in full armor. While all of the Crane attendants and stuff who would have helped you organise for it all told you that it should be a formal event and to wear your finest kimono and that there would be a tea ceremony, she shows up in her full armour.
You can see the relief on Kuro's face. This isn't a typical his body's like, okay, I gotta sit through this long behind tea ceremony. I have to do with all this full societal crap. I've been practicing, and then the moment she shows up in like full armor, he's like, hell yeah. He's gonna give a bow, and he's gonna set up as like, should I change? Because I would not mind sparring right now.
She Bows to you, shakes her head. No. My family told me that I should most likely wear finer clothes to the occasion, but we're at a time of war. I decided that wearing armor would be appropriate in case I'm called back to the battlefield.
I cannot fault you for that. I would have been done doing the same. Um, I know this is a rather particular situation that we are finding ourselves in. Um, and then like he'll just get quiet. He doesn't know what to say.
Um, she sort of takes her katana and wakizashi off of her hip, sort of places it down on her right hand side, which you know enough about etiquette and stuff to know is the proper side that she should have it on. It means that she doesn't plan on drawing a sword and killing you at any immediate moment. And she takes off the upper half of her armor. And you can see that like she's sort of bound underneath. So there's no loose articles of clothing and stuff underneath the armor. And she sort of turns. Suppose if we're going to sit and have tea, then I should get comfortable. As
We
my
honestly-
betrothed, would you mind untying the binding?
Sure. Oh, I don't. That's sure. That's surely that. That's okay. Yeah, I'm going to undo the binding very, very slowly, very delicately. Not like I'm trying to break her. It's just like I've never done this before. What am I doing? What is this?
As like you untie it and or like clothing underneath sort of loosens off, she sort of stretches out, and turns around. And as she turns around, she's sort of brought face to face from you. She's maybe only a few inches smaller than you. But like even though she has to look up to look you in the eye, she might as well be looking down on you. Like there's that much intensity in her face, but she's literally like a few inches away from your face. Delicate fingers for a lion. I wasn't expecting that.
I'm going to be honest with you. I am 100% out of my element. My heart belongs to the battlefield, and so does my body. I honestly don't know how to proceed from here. I feel like a newborn cub again.
Then we both have that in common, which is something that I wasn't expecting. But I seem to have caught you on the back foot, which is what my preference for facing all things in life.
My preference in all things in life is to face it head forward. It's why I'm here now for a week. I decided now would be a good chance to get to know you. And I seen, and I am sampling over myself. Clearly,
Then I see that you have all of the utensils present for a tea ceremony. Did you plan on surprising me with one?
not at all. This was all set up beforehand. If it was up to me, I'd rather would go out to eat and sit down in a nice restaurant to get to know you on a informal level. Informal level.
Maybe you should show me your tea making skills first, and maybe we'll go for something to eat at a later point. She sort of sits down cross-legged across from where you would be sitting.
I give her a nod and I start to do the proceedings for the tea ceremony. Can I use a void point to up my tea ceremony skills?
Haha.
I am 100% out of my element. This is just like, oh, this is fun. I can make tea.
Yeah, what exactly did you roll? 28, that's actually really good. Um,
I can make tea.
yeah, you set about formally performing a tea ceremony. And you can't help but notice the look of surprise on her face. And she's clearly taking count of every step that you do correctly along the way. And then once you perform the entire ceremony and like you're both now sitting with your cups full across from each other, she sort of lifts the cup in both hands and bows her head to it. I'm impressed. My parents told me that you weren't much for courtly delicacies.
I am a bundle of surprises, I can assure you. I do, however, wish to apologize for my actions on the battlefield. My bloodlust took over.
I've heard many stories about the Matsu within the Lion Clan. I was actually under the impression that men typically weren't trained in the ways of the Matsu warriors.
Your assumption is right. I, however, am a special case, and with special cases, you must treat them differently. I have both the intellect and etiquette of a Kodo, but with the fiercery and strength of a Matsu. I am a beautiful combination.
I also heard that both of your parents aren't actually formally married because the Matsu women do not take the names of their husbands.
I have. It must be that you have done some quite extensive research on my family.
I like to know what I'm getting myself into. Otherwise, how can one appropriately prepare?
Fair enough. Then you must also know of how we have came to be betrothed.
I've heard rumors.
Shall we clear them up now over a cup of tea?
I don't know how many answers I could give you, but if you wish to discuss it, then I'll
I'm
hear
not.
what you have to say.
I'm not seeking answers. I just wish to clear up whatever speculations you have of why we are betrothed.
I heard that when you were younger, an assassin came after you. They tried to burn you, but the assassins stopped before they could accomplish the task. And in their dying breath, that they informed your family that they'd been sent by a member of the Crane clan.
I wouldn't say that the assassin himself stopped, more like he was killed. But yes, we was told that it was the Crane clan that sent the assassin, which left my skin this beautiful brown and my hair permanently white from the shock.
I'm sorry that happened to you. I assure you that my clan never ever truly got to the bottom of who it was actually sent the assassin, but did feel that it would be prudent of them to make peace with the Lion Clan.
By offering one of their own. And so here we are over a cup of tea. One of my comrades, another Emerald Magistrate, is from the Crane clan. We had our beginnings, but I can count him amongst a friend of mine, a friend of sorts.
You You speak of Kakita Kurokami.
The very
He's a-
same.
He's a promising student amongst the Kakita school, although somewhat of a black sheep amongst the family.
Is that why his only companion seems to be a dog at his feet all the time?
You speak of the wolf that he travels with.
Mhm.
There are stories that he's fated to meet another who has a companion to his loyal pet. I don't know if such a fate has came to fruition as of yet.
Now, see, this is where I'm like, I don't know how much I need to be telling her. I'm just gonna look ahead quite blankly. Well, I hope he meets this fate, whatever it is.
Or between you and myself, it seems like the sort of romantic stories that are told to Crane children and in theatres within the provinces. If it's something that he believes in and keeps him motivated in the way of the sword. As a Daidoji trained warrior, I can respect that.
I have long come to realize that love is something that you have to work forward to. Sure, there are situations where things can be put into place, but it's really up to you on what you deem to love. My parents love each other. Are they their true loves? I can't say for them. I'm not them. But I can honestly say that they love each other. It just comes down to how we proceed from this point on.
Are you suggesting that maybe one day me and you will love one another instead of just being an arranged marriage?
That is a very strong belief that I hold. Yes. As long
She
as
sort-
we honestly work towards something,
You see
we're
her
bound
sort
to
of
get results.
pick up the teacup and like slowly sip it, and you can see a slight flush of colour on her really pale cheeks.
Charisma!
We'll see after this war is all said and done.
Yeah.
So yeah, after, getting to know her, asking random questions, I'm gonna head to the capital, speak to my uncle, give my uncle the rundown, and then from the capital, I'm gonna return home. I got a boy to take care of.
Yeah. You return home. Your uncle, he'll take what you have to say on board. He, being the shogun of the empire, between him and the Emerald Champion, they are now sort of organizing the armies of the empire. When you return home, Akira is obviously very pleased to see you. It almost seems like the boy has grown a few inches since you last seen him.
That lion trick. Yes.
And when he comes out to you, he is wearing finer clothes, emblazoned with the emblems of the Lion Clan, and like confidently like walking about with your father's wakizashi sort of tucked into his belt.
Is there a lion trailing him? Do I see the family lion?
Your mother's lion is like stalking at a safe distance.
You gotta make sure. That's the first thing you learn. You gotta make sure you don't want to get grabbed by your neck and dragged away. But yeah, I'm gonna pick my son up, swing him around, set him back down, and I'm gonna ask him if Lady Doji has been bothering him.
No, father, Lady Doji has actually been very helpful. She's been training me in how to use the sword.
My whole right eye twitch. Excuse me. What do you say, Akira?
She informs me that I should be brutally efficient in how I deal with opponents. That even if I feel that they may surrender. I should be ruthless in how I cut them down.
Akira, well, his right eye is entirely twitching now. He's just like, "Excuse me? Oh, Akira, I thought I told you to stay away from her."
She comes and keeps me company in the training yard.
Did your grandmother say anything about this? Do they know?
I've told them. They told me it's always wise to listen to more than one teacher.
I see. Go, run along now. You seem to be being stalked by a great predator. I will go speak to your grandmother before I go talk to Lady Doji myself. We will sit down for food later on, okay? And I will see how your sword has come along, okay?
He sort of nods and you see him kind of taunt the lion as he sort of rushes away, like encouraging it to sort of chase after him.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a beeline straight for my mom and dad. Like, I'm angry.
You find your father along with other prominent members of the Akodo family in the sort of wardroom of the castle with like maps of the empire sort of splayed out with wooden carved figures along the crab provinces showing where like the crab armies are. And you can see that he is moving figures that sort of indicate lion forces towards the Akodo family home. He's clearly mustering the forces of the clan here first before sending them out to do what must be done.
I can't. It is not my place to interject at a time like this. I'm not even sure if I would be allowed in a room like this with both my position.
It would be, yeah. It's something that he would probably reprimand you quite badly for if you
Right.
interrupted.
He's going to leave his father to his important business, knowing that he would not be welcome in this room and would be an embarrassment if he goes inside. He's going to go find his mom instead and deal with the fiercer lion.
You find your mother out in the sort of training yard, practicing her kenjutsu skills.
Grabbing a boken, I'm going to heave it up and be like, "Mother, your son wishes to duel and have a conversation with you," as I like do my kata stance on the other side of the training yard.
She'll turn and face you. She levels her katana, or the boken that she's currently training with, in a... To you, it seems like it's quite a loose and maybe sloppy stance. But you know your mother well enough to know that that she could very quickly turn that on you if she wanted to.
As I approach my mom in the full attack stance, I'll be like, "I have been told from Akira that Lady Doji has been training my boy in the way of swordplay." And I'm moving the sword around, just like I'm trying to get like a grasp of how my mom will attack. She's just as fierce, if not even more deadly, and he's just like, "Ah, shit."
Yeah, like your mum isn't even a Matsu berserker. She's what's referred to as a Matsu beast master, and she's used to fighting with the lion alongside of her. But she can still hold her own really well without the accompaniment of Tanjiro. And she will keep you on your feet. Lady Doji has renounced that name. She's reverted back to Akodo. Don't worry, we've been keeping our eye on the lady. And my grandson has been trained in the use of multiple sword arts. He doesn't quite show your aggression, but we feel he might be skilled enough to be trained within the Akodo school.
I would have to disagree, Mother. While my boy is lacking in fierceness, he just doesn't have. He has the heart for it, but his heart belongs to the finer arts. I'm sure my sister has told you during their classes and their time together. The Bard School would be wonderful for Akira.
We assumed because you favoured the way of the sword that you would want that for your son, but if you wish him to be trained in the way of song and words, he's not quite yet of age to be sent off to a school, but it won't be too long before he is.
I'm gonna make the first strike. Even you know how children are, Mother, for I am one of yours.
And I had quite a ferocious pack of children, all each with their own skills.
You made sure that each and every one of our experiences was hand-tailored to make us the greatest in whatever we pursue.
And I promise you that I will curb Lady Akodo's influence on the boy. And I'll start making discussions with the right people to ensure that he gets training that will best suit him. As she says that, though, we see her go for a low swing, and she takes you on the side of the knee and sort of sweeps you onto the ground.
Your son thanks you in both the lesson and the tutelage.
You should be lucky that Tanjiro is not here. He'd be licking your beard off your face. How long have you been on the road that you haven't shaved?
Too long.
You're starting to look like your father.
Isn't that a good thing? I say I've like pushed my head up off the ground.
Only if you're a woman who likes handsome fools, she helps you back onto your feet. Tell me though, I heard that you have met your betrothed before you came here.
I like her.
I thought you might. She's fierce. I met her once as a small girl.
Did you and were you the one to arrange this, Ben? I assumed it was father.
She sort of laughs and gives you a sort of knowing pat in the back. I always tailor things for my children. Come, we'll eat.
You had cut out Andy after you said we eat.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty much. Yeah, come, we'll eat. And she sort of walks off with you to go get food.
Okay. Before I let you go on to Kieran, there's actually some things I would like to procure.
Yep.
I want to acquire Jade.
Okay.
And
Well,
then
that's yeah, that's something that will take a little bit of time to procure, but you will be able to procure at least a single finger of jade before you leave home.
all right. I want to procure Jade. I want to get the Lord Hida armor redid. Not entirely. I just want it to be, cleaned up. I want to get it repaired. I want since I can't go into battle with his emblems on, I want those emblems to be put on the inside of the armor to keep his legacy there. And I want the Akoto's lion on the patlons on the sides.
Yep.
I would like the outer color to be my family colors, but on the if you're looking at the armor like you're about to put it on, it's the crab colors. But when it's on the outside, it's the lion colors.
Okay, so
And
like the outside's going to be that kind of sandy gold color, but you have like the dark blue inside.
and I want Lord Hida's name inscribed above the heart.
Yeah. You can take the armor to an armorer within the Akodo castle, and they'll do that. They'll beat out any dents that are in it, polish it up, take the enamel off, and then re-enamel it with the new colours and all the insignias and mon and stuff that you want emblazoned upon it. So that it's fit for a lion but still has elements of the crab in it. So they might even keep some blue trim around certain parts of it and things like that, so to maintain Lord Hida's memory.
Oh, after that, I actually want to go to my sister and have her publish a story about Lord Hida.
Yeah. She'll spend some time with you composing an epic poem. In the traditional sort of form that the lion bards tend to folk. They're very good at storytelling. And yeah, she'll spend some time with you composing that. Akira will probably come and go to watch and listen as you sort of piece the story of Lord Hida together.
Once that's done, I'm going to write a letter to all of my comrades, and I'm just going to include the epic. But for Chuck gets my Dear Slim. Chuck gets my Dear Slim letter with it. So all of my comrades, I want them all to get the epic of Lord Hida, but Chuck is going to get the epic and a Dear Slim letter.
You get this multi-scroll delivery.
Other than that, is it possible to upgrade weapons?
Not really, no.
Not in the sense that I'm thinking.
Yeah, not in the sense that you're thinking.
Okay. So since I already have the clan's katana, I'm going to want to get my own katana specialized. And going off of how Lord Hida has his Tetsubo, I'm going to want to get that sliver of jade. I want to put it at the hilt.
Okay.
And
so what's common in katanas is the handle, the hilt, where it's bound. You'll most commonly find it's usually engraved in gold. Icons that are sort of wrapped beneath the hand wrap. So an artisan within the Akodo lands could maybe engrave you something in jade to go there instead of something in gold.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that'll give you a little bit of protection against the taint. But it's something that you'll have to, if you are encountering Shadowlands creatures and stuff, that you'll have to get replaced at some point. But Yeah, they can do that for you.
Other than that, I want to just get a bow because I can shoot a bow. I can use it. I just want one.
Bows is enough for you to get. Bows are fairly cheap and easy to make, so yeah, you can get a hold of a bow.
Give me a moment. I'm looking up the exact bow that I want. It was on my list. I have it here.
A longbow or short bow?
It is a long bow. And I just need arrows for it. That's all.
So it would be a.
Oh! Also here in my notes. So the light armor I had before, I want to get it retailored for Akira.
Yeah, it'll be a while before he's grown enough to fit it, but they will keep it aside for him.
Alright. Other than that, that's about it.
So Yumi's the longbow.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, you can easily get a hold of a Yumi, and you're able to sort of grab at least 20 arrows for it. Willow leaf arrows. Before you're called back to the capital, essentially.
How many arrows do I get?
20.
Alright, thank you. Standard arrows?
Yeah, which are willow leaf arrows.
Well, leaf arrows.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, Rin. You have a few things that you need to do.
Yes, I think I was planning on pretty much spending my whole downtime in the capital.
Yeah, because
And
you
just
can't
kinda
really go
learning my new
home.
role. Just pretty much learning my new role. The only thing I was going to do outside of kind of learning my new role and mingling around the court would be to send a letter to my own father with the news of Hidasota's death if he hasn't already heard it.
You're not likely to get a response back.
That's fine. It's just so the actual letter's been sent, so he's at least aware.
Obviously, being at war with the Crab Clan, it's kind of hard. Though. But you are spending time in the Imperial capital, and to fulfill your duty, you are going to swear yourself as a Jade Magistrate. So when you return, probably with some of your companions, you're obviously greeted by the Emerald Champion, Kikita Yuki, who thanks you for assisting his retainers in this task, and gives you condolences for the loss of your lord.
Thank him for that, and that means a lot.
He will formally introduce you to the Jade Champion, Isawa Mitsuki of the Phoenix Clan. Mitsuki is maybe roughly about the same age as Lady Kuni. But being a Phoenix, she's a lot fairer in how she looks. She obviously hasn't faced, horrors in the Shadowlands and things like that, that have marred her complexion. And she's a lot softer spoken than the daimyo of the Kuni family. You're sort of brought into her sort of meeting chambers within the Imperial Palace. And her meeting chambers resemble a shrine. You can see that there are sort of statues that indicate the sort of dragons of the four elements. And like scrolls up along the walls that depict like different Jade champions throughout the history of the Empire and their sort of deeds. And it kind of fills you with a bit of pride to see that most of the Jade champions in the history of the Empire have actually been from the Kuni family.
Sweet. I was going to
Uh,
ask, do I recognise any names or anything
Yeah,
that kind of just from a
There,
glance?
there's a lot of them. Occasionally, there's a gap where there's maybe been a Phoenix, Jade champion,
Or dragon.
or a dragon, and even once or twice a crane.
Mhm.
But those Jade champions tend to appear in time periods where the threat from the Shadowlands haven't been as great. Similar to the time period that you're in now, which is why it's a Phoenix champion and not a crab one. But she comes in quite elegantly in the full. Kunai Shigenja are different. Most Shigenja dress priestly. They dress in flowing robes and all that sort of stuff. Within the Kunai family, they don't. They tend to dress more like Bushi. Maybe a little bit more elaborately. But she comes in the full sort of flowing Shigenja robes and things that you'd expect to see within the other clans. With her sort of satchel that's full of scrolls kind of tucked in behind her. And she sort of bows to you as she comes in.
And I'll kind of bow deeply.
Master Kunai, it is a pleasure to have one of the Kunai family here within the Imperial Capital. Your knowledge and skill in tackling threats of Shadowlands and of blood sorcery are highly regarded within the Empire.
Thank you. Yeah, in these dark times, I hope to be as useful as I possibly can.
I've heard that you've already assisted Lord Kakita, his Emerald Magistrates, in their duties. Would you like to continue your service along Lord Kakita's retainers?
If you would allow it, then yes. I vowed to the late Lord Ida Sota that I would continue these duties and accompany the Emerald Magistrates on their journey.
Then, within the group of magistrates, you will be the Jade representative within the group. When they return from whatever duty is asked of them, you will report to me and not the Emerald Champion. In some situations, you may have your own tasks that you're required to do on these missions that your companions will be sent upon, that I will direct you on.
I understand.
Then she sort of holds her hands out and she starts to sort of pray to the kami of all of the elements. Then may the Empress's blessing be upon you, and I appoint you as a Jade Magistrate and declare that you are one of my retainers here within the Empire.
Thank you. I'm honoured.
That comes with a few things.
Well,
Just quickly.
sheet up.
Yeah. So your status will now become 4.5. And your glory will go up to 6.
Oh, I mean, oops, 4.5 status. My glory was 6, did you say?
Yep.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 status. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just put that there. Okay.
The first thing that I will ask of you as a Jade Champion is to divulge anything and everything unnatural that happened on the lead up to this unfortunate turn of events within the Empire.
Is she meaning literally from the start of?
Everything that you know about, essentially.
Yeah, I
Even
can
if you
turn
didn't
that
witness
over.
it firsthand, then yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I can turn it
Yeah,
over. I'll tell her about the story of like my uncle and father, the last meeting they had before he continued on into the Shadowlands. If that's in case that's like useful to her.
I wonder who sent him out into the Shadowlands to look for such a descendant.
You don't believe it was his own choice?
I don't believe it was. But it was a period without anyone sitting on the throne, so whoever issued it must have been important in other ways.
Who had claims? Who had the best claims to the throne during that period of time?
Um, second. There is a list of them emperors. There was a few within the Totori lineage, but they weren't direct heirs to Totori the Third. They were siblings and nephews and nieces.
Yeah, so just
Um,
a different claim.
They almost tore the Lion Clan apart. It's the reason that the Akodo were sort of cast out of the Empire for a short period. Totori originally being from the Akodo family. Technically, you could argue that the Akodo clan, the Akodo family within the Lion Clan, have claim to the throne if they do not accept the recent judgments of the Kami to place our new Empress there. But so far, I have no reason to doubt the Akodo's loyalty to the new Imperial line.
Odo Kuro seems, from what I've witnessed on the battlefield, the small skirmishes that we've been part of on our way here, tremendously loyal to yourself and his position as an Emerald Magistrate. I wouldn't doubt that he would have, his side of the family would have any claims to the throne.
Well, Akodo Kuro is the son of the current clan champion, and his uncle is the current daimyo, shogun. There may be others within the Akodo family whose loyalties are less serious than theirs, but as of this moment in time, I have nothing that leads me to believe that that is the case. But we do keep close eyes upon the Akodo and the Lion Clan for that very reason, especially after what has happened within the Crab domains. But they claim to be loyal to the Hantei dynasty. There hasn't been a Hantei emperor in near 100 years now. The Scorpion clan assassinated the last of that line, which is why they were cast out of the Empire.
Who were the major supporters of the Han-Te dynasty? Of like this, over that century ago.
Well, traditionally the Crane clan were always strong supporters of the Han-Te dynasty. In fact, most Han-Te emperors had Crane spouses, with one or two exceptions. The Phoenix clan have always been fairly loyal to anyone who's sat upon the Emerald Throne. Seeing as the Scorpions assassinated the last Han-Te, I believe that they're probably the clan least inclined to throw any supports against a re-emerging claimant of the throne.
And just out of character, how if myself and Sheba were children when Sheba's dad kind of went away into the Shadowlands, that would be like what, 20 years ago, roughly?
20ish. I think you're all in your kind of early to mid 20s, all of the characters.
Yeah.
So yeah, the throne would have been empty for maybe like 4 or 5 years by that point. And that's about the point where all the clans were starting to kind of get at each other's throats to see who was going to be the next emperor.
Okay. It's in the last decade or so. How did the Phoenix clan react towards deciding a new emperor or empress?
Changes happened within the Celestial Heavens. A new Lady Sun and Lord Moon emerged from previous clan champions who ascended to Kami. They did so in order to bring peace to the Empire, and it was their declaration upon ascending to godhood that there should be another contest amongst all within the Empire who feel that they would be capable of ruling over it. I should say that no one expected the outcome to be as it was. The Dragon Clan have always been reclusive, and even more so, it was a Kitsuki and not even a Miyamoto. It's not even the leading family of that clan who decided to put themselves forth to become Empress of all of Rokugan. And to come out on top. The only clan that didn't seem to be surprised by the outcome were the Scorpions. Even those amongst the Dragon Clan were surprised.
How is it that a lower family was able to best the champions of the higher tiered families?
I see the distance that separates the crab from the dragon leads to some lack of knowledge amongst the clan. The Kitsuki are some of the keenest minds amongst the entire empire, and so she simply outsmarted all of the other would-be champions. Empress Aweko might not be the most skilled in the arts of Kenjutsu, nor can she wield the power of the Kami, but she is a very keen and intelligent young woman. And so when others felt they were stronger or more powerful than she was, she always found a weakness to exploit. I'm led to believe that neither yourself or your fellow magistrates have actually been introduced to the Empress as of yet.
I can't speak for the rest of the magistrates, but I myself definitely have not.
I believe with current events, that might be changing soon. I think the Empress will like to have an audience with those who were present for the start of the first war of her reign and the first war of her dynasty.
We'll try our best to ensure it continues, but we first need to uncover this mystery of why a man would boldly walk into the Shadowlands.
I feel that all of the events going on in the Empire at this moment in time might be tied to that moment.
And I believe it's the root of the problem.
I feel that those who have a hand in the events that have unfolded will start to make themselves more apparent as things get worse before they get better. It's now your job as a magistrate for the Empire to act upon that when it becomes apparent.
And I shall. With your guidance, I hope to be able to achieve the best I can. And hopefully one day my name will be on these walls.
She places a hand on your shoulder. As a Jade Magistrate, out of yourself and your companions that serve the Empire, only you have the power to deal with some problems that the sword cannot deal with.
And again, I'll do my best to achieve that. I know it's maybe taboo to say, but I am keenly interested in the ways of Maho magic.
Takes a deep breath.
It's always intrigued me since I was a child.
I will take that comment as a passing curiosity. But
Also, there's nothing more.
I wouldn't let it become more than that, and I wouldn't say those words to anyone else again. Such words
Understood.
are blasphemous.
I understand. It was purely out of respect for yourself that you hear it from me and not. It might not reach ears as hearsay from loose lips in the court.
I hear the rumours about the knowledge that the Kunai hold. But in the interests of the Empire, I think we've always overlooked the secrets that your family keep. But to practice Maho is an invitation to the taint.
I've read of the horrors that the taint can have on the body. It is not something that I wish upon myself or these friends that I've made on my journey.
Speaking of which, I hear one of those companions, unfortunately a member of my own clan, has been afflicted with the taint. Again, as a Jade Magistrate, if Shiba Shiru of the Phoenix clan should become overwhelmed with the taint, it is your duty to end his life if he chooses not to take it himself.
Shiba is a distant relative of mine, and if that is the case, then I would assume the role.
Keep that in mind. Duty must come before family in this situation.
No matter how difficult that may be, I agree.
Then our business here for the moment is concluded. Rest up here in the capital. You, unlike your companions, you do not have the luxury of returning back to your home.
Sadly, at the current time, it's best that I don't. I would like to send a message to my father, however.
I can send the message through the will of the Kami for you.
Thank you. Communing with the Air Kami, as you would know, is not our specialty. It is always quite difficult to send messages.
While you're here, I know it isn't a strong point of the Kune family, and your training is Shigenja, but I could provide some tutelage on how to ask this favour of the Kami. It may come in useful in your future role as a Jade Magistrate.
Yeah, Ren will perk up at that and be like, okay, yes, please. If anything comes to of us on the road, then it would be a great boon to be able to communicate back to yourself or anyone within the Emerald Palace.
Yeah. With that, she'll sort of conclude the business, but she will teach you how to cast that spell while you're here. Is there anything else you want to do while you're in the capital?
No, but besides that, I was maybe going to float around the court and just see how their courtiers kind of deal with things, and just again eavesdrop on the kind of the conversation topics that are going. It's obviously going to be a lot of bad mouthing of the crab.
Yeah.
But while he's there, obviously he might let a few kind of rumours slip from his own mouth. I'll leave that up to you. What he kind of lets out.
Yeah. What kind of rumours would you want to be spreading around the Imperial Court?
Shit, I'm not actually thought through. Off the top of my head. Chuck, can I get some kind of backstory on who was the guy you shot the arrow at last week?
Oh, Doji Kaito's. So what had happened is one of our first missions, we ended up going to a city, and he met us there and presented himself as essentially the governor, the leader of the city, and he wasn't. He was a son of the one, and he brought us into the red light district and tried to have us killed.
Okay.
And he was supposed to be killed, but Kuro listened to his father, and his father convinced Kuro to duel, and he dueled his Yojimbo, and it was a tie, so he got to live and run away. There was a bit of tension there for a while over that happening. Kisho really wants him dead, so when Kisho saw him, that's why he was like, motherfucker.
He failed to miss the part where he tried to, shoot me with an arrow as well.
I did. I could not see him. I definitely tried to assassinate Kuro that night.
So he's a scumbag and fucking pretty dishonorable.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, very much so.
So this is the rumor I want to spread around the Emerald Court, that this guy is working closely with the Crab Champion.
Yeah.
And he was seen at where were we? We were at
Yusuke Hanko.
Yusuke Hanko. He was seen leading the crab. Was he leading the crab force or just in amongst it?
He was amongst the Yusuke leaders of the crab forces.
Okay. So he was paired with the Yusuke leaders who were leading that force at Yusuke Hanko. and just kind of weave it into his close connection with the Crab Champion, just to kind of create a bit more like disdain for the current Crab Champion and right on the core up a bit.
Okay, give me a core tier roll.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Second skills. Dear, I'm not trained, but I've got emphasis in gossip.
You're not trained at core
I'm
tier?
not trained in. I'm not. It's not a skill.
Just because it's not a skill, have you got ranks in it?
Yeah, I've got two. Sorry.
Yeah,
Aye.
that means you're
Yep,
trained.
got it,
Yeah,
yep.
you're trained.
Right. Okay. Sorry. So that is. It's just. Is it emphasis because I've got gossip, or is it just?
Yeah,
trained?
yep. Emphasis because you've got gossip.
Okay. Did that come up?
That came through, yeah.
Here we go. Sorry. It's
Oh, whoa.
what have I done?
The Crane members of the court, they don't like this rumour. It makes them look bad. They will denounce you, like, they'll pretty much throw the fact that you're a crab in your face in the Imperial Court. They'll demand to know why you're even here, why you're not being held as a prisoner of war, and in general, they will make you look like a complete dick for your duration here. Lose a point of honor.
Ooh.
Oh,
I tried, guys. I tried.
Come on, somebody can join me down here at 0.5.
Oh, where are we on probation? Oh my god, I'm at a full point.
Yep.
I'm at 1 point.
You're at 1 point. You're almost at the same point as the Scorpion. But you do pick up the spell. It's on page 167 of the PDF.
Cool.
It is Legacy of Kazi no Kami, and it allows you to call upon the spirits of the wind that take the form of a bird and can carry a message for you.
Sweet. 167.
Yep.
Yep.
You can
Okay.
put that into your character sheet while you're.
Um,
It's like it's a rank 1 air spell, so
that's fine. Yeah. After that, I will be laying low in this court for a while. Since I've just made a fucking ass of myself.
Okay, Kurokami,
Hi.
what are you
Is it
doing?
Kami? Sorry. Yep, mate. No, I'm just saying Legacy of Kazi no Kami, yeah.
Hmm.
Yep, got it. No well. Thank you.
Yeah. Kurokami, what are you doing during your downtime?
Is it still downtime if I go to war?
Are you going to stay on the front?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to be. I want to be in. I don't think I can lead the army, obviously, but I want to be championing in my cousin's army. I want to be Billy Badass on the scene, surrounded by a bunch of heavily armored motherfuckers in a new suit of black armor that I had commissioned. It's just regular light armor.
So instead of being like the sky blue and white of the crane, it's like black with maybe a blue
It's
mon or something like that on it.
I think it's probably all black except for like right above the heart. There's a blue painted crane symbol.
And the crane clan symbol. Okay.
The crest, instead of being like bent upwards, bends down like a row of teeth.
Yeah, as an Emerald Champion, you can take a level of responsibility for Imperial forces. By this point in time, yeah, the Emerald Champion has sent some Emerald Legionaries to help reinforce the Crane forces on the border of the Crab Clan. There hasn't been any full-on battles like the one that you fought previously, but there are a few border skirmishes that you're like able to take part in and gain yourself a little bit of extra honor and glory, particularly glory while you're down here. So you can gain 1 point of honor and you can gain 1 point of glory.
Nice.
But the downside of that is not all of these skirmishes have ended in a victory for the Imperial forces. So Crab are very good at defending. And not all crab are big, heavy brutes like the Hida. The crab family is also the home of the Haruma. And Haruma Bushi are a bit more. They're the part of the crab family who act as scouts within the Shadowlands for the crab, and so skirmishes and scouting and ambush tactics and stuff are all things that the Haruma excel in. And they're all things that the Crane typically do not employ in warfare. And in situations where some of those skirmishing forces of the Crane and the Imperial Legionaries have been caught off guard by the Crab forces, it has been quite bad. But in any situation where the Crane have just happened to catch any crab unawares, it's tended to went favourably, and it's went favourably in behalf of the Empire.
So there was a point in Rokugani history where there was a bunch of Crane samurai that were just going around and challenging. Which clan was it again?
It was the Lion Clan, and they were challenging.
Yeah.
They were challenging mantises to duels.
So I think
Yeah.
that after a short, like maybe 2-week campaign of being denied open combat, I suggest to Lady Doji, my cousin, I think it's time we take things back to a simpler time. I've been studying a lot of the, let me make sure I don't mispronounce this. I've been studying a lot of the Kenshinzen art and calligraphy in my off time, and they spoke supremely of one strike, the killing blow, like wind and water cutting through your foes. And crabs are those that tend to hide behind their shell. A singular strike in the right place would split that shell wide open and be a feast for us cranes.
Then, what do you propose?
Lady Doji, I suggest that you and your finest single combatants join me. We march into crab territory on the outside of it, where we are not too easily cut off, but where we can lure our foes into a false sense of security, and we go around challenging their champions to duels like days of old, showing the rest of the country who the true honor-bound folk are, and who is misled.
Weighs up the possibility. There's certain clans where this tactic would work with. If we were at war with the Lion Clan, I believe they would send champions to the duel. If we were at war with even the Unicorn, then they would most likely send a champion to duel as well. Even the Scorpions might take that proposition. And as we know from history, the Mantis felt that they were competent enough only to discover that even the less skilled blades of a lion were better than them. Crab, as you said, crab hide behind their shells. And they fight things that don't have honour most times. I don't think you would find many crab willing to take you up on a duel. Not during a war.
And we give them no choice. Wherever we find their bushi, those that have turned against the Empire. We slaughter whatever peasant army they have scrounged around them. And then they have no choice. They either die like dogs, or we give them one last chance to regain their honor at the end of our blades. It's a message.
You speak of cornering a crab.
Indeed.
She shakes her head. It's well seen that you're trained as a duelist and not a Daidoji.
Yep, kind of informs my entire worldview.
The crab, as you say, hide behind shells. They're the most renowned defensive warriors in all of the Empire. I think cornering them would only make them more dangerous.
Cities burn, Lady Doji. In war, cities burn most of all.
If you wish to make a point by burning towns and cities on the frontier.
Cute and Hida.
You're a fool. Hida isn't some small town that you could set ablaze. It's a fortress and a city made of stone.
Oh, I've been there.
And deep within crab territory.
But it is on the water, is it not?
And the Mantis clan have not moved to take action.
We set their harbor ablaze.
I believe you're best waiting for whatever instructions your cousin back in the capital gives you as Emerald Champion.
I kind of smile and shake my head at her, and when I look back, I feel like I'm probably like looking at her a little bit differently than I ever have before. I've looked at her with like honor and respect and stuff, but right now I'm just looking at her like warrior to warrior, like all pretense of family and everything left behind. And I tell her, I swore an oath. I will see that met. Support or not, I won't die seeing this fulfilled, but they will.
I have no doubt in that. But the Emerald Champion will use you and the other Emerald Magistrates the same way that he would use his own blade in the duel. He will use that single strike to remove a head, but of targets of his choosing. At the moment, you've been allowed to stay here as a representative of the Empire and as a crane. But at the moment, a strike at Kyuden Hida would be foolish. At this moment in time, none of the other clans in the Empire have even sent forces to the south. And history has told us, as Crane, that fighting the crab in their own territory has only led to shame and dishonour on our part. We lost a family, the Yatsuki, and we lost territories throughout our southern border in previous conflicts from the Crab Clan. She notes to Kikita Baguio, which was a former holding of the Kikita family and now belongs to the Crab. Of Yasuki Hanko and Hisashima Yutmura were all previous towns and cities that belonged to the Crane clan. Keeping them on their toes, we will do. Harassing them, we will do. But until either the Shogun or the Emerald Champion himself tells us that we should strike the heart of the Crab provinces, then I am doing the prudent thing of keeping my forces on the border.
I wish to make the crabs bleed, Lady Doji.
And I believe in some of these skirmishes that have happened that you have.
Not enough.
And I believe this war is only just beginning, and you will have plenty of time to make the crab, and presumably other enemies of the Empire, pay.
Understand what I'm about to say has nothing to do with my honor as a Crane, but I will see some of these lands restored to our family. They were
I had
stolen
no
as far
doubt.
as I'm concerned.
I have no doubt that once this war is said and done, that we will take back territories that previously belonged to us.
I have many things that I wish to talk to many people in our family about, but I don't think that I'll ever have the time.
Questions tend to spur more questions.
What questions do you have? What about this war? Are you strong in your convictions, or do you question it?
Our clan has a long history against the crab. It doesn't take much provocation for the Crane to raise arms against them.
Then I can count
This
on
is... You can count on me, at least as far as the crab are concerned, that I will ensure that the Crane forces shed as much crab blood as we can before all is said and done.
Well, I think we probably go back to discussing the finer merits of Bushido. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk to her about. Trying to rouse her to using her army to strike out didn't work, but that's okay. Yeah, so that's pretty much it on my end. New armor, practicing Aijutsu, intense meditation, and studying Bushido.
Are you returning to the capital at any point, or are you remaining here until you're summoned?
Yeah, no, I want to be, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As you remain sort of in the Crane lands on the borders, you know that Kuro's betrothed, despite being of a similar age to yourself, has obviously been given a lot of authority in terms of the Crane forces that are here. But it depends on how ambitious you are within the clan. It makes sense. She has a doji, and she is within the sort of senior family within the doji. Those that sort of belong to the clan champion and extended. She might not be the first in line to the clan, but it makes sense that she would be in charge. But I don't know if it would irk you or not that someone of a similar age has obviously been given far more authority here than you.
No, I am like a huge fan of her. I'm studying, like when she's discussing like battle tactics before we like go in and stuff. I understand my shortcomings, and I make no qualms about it. Definitely, there's no sense in, or there's nothing wrong with not being the smartest person in the room as far as Kurokami is concerned, and he shuts the fuck up and listens when she's talking about like strategy.
Yeah, it's like you are a Kakita, That is the family that you belong to, and you've been raised within that school as well. To the point where you were raised strictly as a Kakita. It probably hasn't ever occurred to you until this point. What training within another Bushi school could actually mean. And it's probably the first time in your life it's probably occurred to you what the difference between a doji trained samurai within the clan is compared to a Kakita, and what Lady Doji, the clan champion, said to you about how the Emerald champion will use you the same way that a Kakita would use a sword makes sense. Like, Doji Asuki, like Kuro's betrothed, is leading forces, and there's a certain level of tactical training there that you would not receive within the Kakita school. There's more versatility in what she can do. And while you reckon that you would best her in a duel, if all the rules and restriction of dueling were off the table and it was a straight up fight, the outcome would be a lot less clear. But that makes what the clan champion said about using you as a sword and your role as an Emerald champion is starting to become a lot. An Emerald magistrate becomes a lot clearer. That while samurai like Doji Asuki here lead forces and fight multiple opponents, your role is to make those single strikes that cut out particular or like bigger threats to the Empire in a single blow. You might not have the training to lead men in an army, but you have that training that you know when it's time for you to strike a single opponent.
I think that after some time of like watching and learning and listening from her, I would probably like rebroach that conversation and tell her that I'm starting to understand what it is that she meant and like to integrate it. And then like this whole time I've made it a point that like I have no interest in like dueling her or seeing which one of us is the best opponent, because I definitely would have picked up on what you said. And I don't think that it would do anything for either of us to see who would win in either form of combat. But I do share with her something that Kurokami hasn't told anyone before, which is that he has an intention of becoming a Shingensen eventually.
An admirable goal. I'm sure if you stick with our gracious cousin within the Imperial capital, your fate will come to pass in that term.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you told us that the Emerald Champion is the youngest Shingensen of all time?
Yep.
Okay.
He is the youngest. Most Emerald champions have been Kakita. There's been a few cases where they haven't. But it'd be like when I was telling Kieran about Jade champions, most of them in history have been kunai. And in rare occasions they haven't. It's a similar case where most Emerald champions are Kakita, and there's been a few cases where it's maybe been a member of the Crab or Lion clan who have taken the role. But yeah, he's the youngest in history. He is also the youngest master of the Kakita dojo
And how old
in
is he
history.
again?
He's only about 10 years older than you. So in his like early 30s. But yeah, it's like, but your aptitude with the sword and how quickly you've taken to the teachings of the school, have you sort of pegged? That's why you were sent to him when he was calling for promising potential samurai to become Emerald Magistrates.
An Emerald Champion's a title you hold till death, or do you have to step down when you start getting sloppy?
You generally hold it to death. An Emperor can, in theory, strip the title from you. It's very rarely happened in history. When it has happened, it's tended to have triggered a civil war.
Gotcha.
Or, in a rare occasion, someone can challenge an Emerald Champion to the title. And in most cases, when that has happened, the Emerald Champion in question has almost always came out on top. There's only been rare occasions where a challenger has defeated an Emerald Champion in a duel and replaced them.
Well, I certainly don't anticipate that I'll be defeating my cousin because I think the world of him, and I think that, he's probably like the best that there's ever been. But I definitely confer with her to tell her that I certainly have the intentions of being made his, like, favorite. Like, definitely. Like, I'm going to prove myself, and he's going to be like, that's my go-to guy.
He nods her head. Obviously, I wasn't ever trained as a Kakita. That was never on the table for me or my fate. I have heard from others within the clan that yearly, normally within the Empire, they hold the Topaz Championship. And most Emerald Champions have taken part in that competition at least once in their history before eventually emerging. It's a title that changes yearly, but it's an honour nonetheless. It takes you one step closer. Although, with the current going-ons within the Empire, I'm not sure if the Empress will hold the championship anytime soon.
I think I smile when I look at her and I say, then I will do so a year before I become Shingensen, and I will be victorious.
And I will remember this conversation and put it down into the history of our clan when it does happen.
Is it weird to hug in this culture?
Yeah.
I'm Southern, so I hug everybody.
I understand.
Then I give her a polite and respectful bow, and I tell her that it was good getting to know her during these 3 months.
Yeah, 3 months. Apart from the week that she maybe took out to spend time with Kuro, where you might have heard some gossip amongst people. But you know Kuro and you know her, that any more lewd gossip is probably untrue, and she seems to ignore any gossip.
I would not give her a hard time about it.
But when I say lewd gossip, it's like, she let him undo her bindings.
Oh my god!
Which did happen, but like, it's like that sort of really conservative, like, oh my god, she let him touch her.
He didn't cut his hands off.
Anyway, yeah, if you're spending your time here in the front, like, that'll be appreciated. It's always kind of good for morale to see an Emerald Magistrate, fighting on the front lines. Okay, Shibashiru, and then we'll take a break once we get you
That's
done, and
me.
we'll get this next chapter started formally. Yeah, so what are you doing during your downtime?
All right, so about time for me to have a baby, no?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh wow, I
Um,
forgot about that.
When you return home, your wife is close to popping. Her belly has swollen to like twice the size. But she warmly embraces you as much as she can, with her stomach coming out to here. like giggling, she tells you that she's fairly sure that it's twins that she's carrying.
Oh my goodness.
Which within both the Scorpion and the Phoenix clan is considered to be quite lucky to carry twins. Because Shiba and Bayushi were both twins. The two kami that founded both clans. So both clans consider them to be very lucky. But yeah, she welcomes you warmly. There's a lot more attendants in the house doing things compared to the first time that you returned home. But she's very happy to see you back.
Yeah, mine's gonna be pretty easy. I just wanted to handle the children thing. I wanted to put on another play, and I wanted to ask for heavy armor.
Yeah. So you're telling her about your Shadowland train?
Yes, but just her privately.
Before or after the pregnancy? That's
It depends actually. If I think it's really close, then I'd probably wait.
Yeah, it's really close. You're maybe home for maybe about 2 or 3 weeks before she goes into labor.
Yeah, please RP the birth. Just kidding.
Well,
Give me an earth roll
Yeah.
for push.
she's attended by like other Shigenja, like her parents are here, your family are here, or your mother is here. It's a big celebration, and she was correct. She does give birth to twins, a boy and a girl, so they're not identical twins. Would you like to name them, or?
I picked out a male and a female name, so
Okay, yep. Let's name these babies.
sorry. Let's name these babies.
Hira.
The male is Shiba Yukihito,
Yukihiko.
and the female is Shiba Yoko.
Yoko. Okay. Your wife is over the moon.
I wanted a
she's
Y name. I got 2 of them, I guess. I know.
so happy to have twins. Within the Phoenix clan, it's almost like the war against the crab isn't happening. Unless you're currently in the Imperial Court at the moment as a Phoenix, it hasn't really touched the majority of the clan, this concept of the Empire at war. And particularly in your village at the moment, it's obviously all the peasants, they've been given time off work to celebrate, they've been given extra rice to celebrate, extra sake, there's music and dancing and fireworks. And yeah, the village is like in full on celebration mode.
Yes.
You've got proud grandparents there. And then, yeah, it's kind of abruptly comes to an end a few days later, presumably when you take your wife aside and tell her that you're tainted. And being a Shigenja, she understands the weight of that. Then the Kami blessed us with 2 children to make up for this.
And what a blessing they'll be.
And although we can't have any more, we have one another and we have our children. I just
A happy
hope that-
time in war.
I
It's the
hope
middle of
the
a war. We're out here having babies. Sorry, go ahead.
The war is the one thing that troubles me.
I will have to return.
I expect as much, but for now you're here. we're happy. We have our new children. As a Shugenja. Once I'm back on my feet and able, I will delve into the libraries of the clan and see if there's any way that we can remove the taint. I've heard rumours of attempts through history, but it's never been something that I've looked into too closely until I have the motivation to now.
Well, I will not stop you in this, but don't let it come between you and time with our children.
I will balance both. All I want for you is to spend as much time as you can with your children while you're here before the Emerald Champion summons you back to the court.
And that's exactly what I'll do.
Okay, as your wife said, like your babies are blessings from the kami. Yeah, they do cry and they do scream when they're hungry or tired or whatever. But from stories that like both your mother and her parents tell you about, like when you were children and stuff, like your kids seem like an absolute breeze compared to apparently how often you used to cry when you were a baby. And but yeah, the time is enjoyable. And yeah, you request a set of armor be made, a heavier set of armor for yourself. And your wife is more than happy to, agree for that and fund its forging from the taxes brought in from the village, because if you're wearing heavier armor, it means you're going to be harder to kill, and it means you're more likely to come back to her and your children. Even once it's made, you probably receive it a few days before your summons comes from the court, and she will call upon all of the kami to bless it and bless you on your journey.
Awesome. Yeah, and the only other thing I wanted to do is, do the play, because that's Shibashiro's thing. He likes the right place.
Yeah. You probably received the epic poem from Kuro as well during your time here, which is well written. But yeah, if you give me a performance roll.
Do. 23.
Yeah. So what is your play about?
It's about our last adventure, and specifically a lot of it is the story of the first battle of the conflict that we're currently in, or not in.
The common people here enjoy your play. Any samurai who are retainers here, the Phoenix being pacifists, it worries them a little bit, but it informs them nonetheless of what might be coming. And you deliver all the details that you feel in your story are necessary for your people to sort of hear, to understand the events happening within the Empire at this moment in time.
Yep. Fairly simple for me, like I said. Mine was quick.
Cool. Then we'll take a break there, and then we'll start the next chapter of the campaign properly. Your next task.
All right.
We'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Don't go anywhere, anybody. We are going to take a quick break, and then we will return with the second half of Legend of Five Rings: Heart of an Empire. Be right back.
Oh, and my dog is here. Come here, Morpheus. Oh, you big
Oh, it's called
dog.
Morpheus. What a fucking name.
Morpheus.
What a
Yeah.
What a
dude.
fucking name.
Doggo button camera.
This is Morpheus. Morpheus, move, baby.
Hello. We return with dogs. And,
Morpheus.
Yes, this is
Welcome back.
Morpheus.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sitting tight. We appreciate it, and let's get right on back into some Heart of an Empire.
Yeah, we are ready to sort of start our third chapter in the campaign. The same way that we've started the previous chapters, you're all summoned to the Imperial capital on behalf of the Emerald Champion, Kakika Yuki. And as before, you're all welcomed by attendants who have pails of warm water and clean cloths for each of you to wipe the dust from your feet and faces. Obviously, Kuni Rin, you've been present at the Imperial capital the entire time. So like someone probably comes and tells you in person closer to the time that you have to attend the Emerald Champion. Similar to all those times before, you all arrive at slightly different points. You're all sort of gathered in the Emerald Champion sort of meeting room. And similarly to every other time that you've been here, when he arrives, it's in the flashiest fucking kimono that you've ever seen. Like, it would make a high-end geisha look absolutely cheap as shit. Finest silks, touches of emerald green, bright sky blues, full makeup that make his rather androgynous features even more difficult to sort of tell. And he sits down across from you after giving you all a light bow.
Thank you, boy.
I would like to thank you all for your speedy response to my summons here, especially as the Empire now faces its first true hurdle under the rule of the Oeko dynasty. And I'd like to thank you all for the duty that you have performed up to this point.
I bow.
You're about to be given an honour that very few so far in the Empire have been granted. You're about to be given an audience with the Empress herself. He stands back up, dusts himself off. If you would all follow me to the throne room.
Kuro eyes go right. Go to the throne. What the hell? Morpheus. I'm sorry.
The Emerald Champion leads you out of the room and through the corridors of the Imperial Palace and into the grand throne room where the chrysanthemum throne sits. At one far end of the room, carved from jade engraved with chrysanthemums, and the names of the emperors and empresses who've sat on it before her. You see Empress Aweko already seated. And as you enter, you can't see her face. She has a fan sort of up, covering most of her appearance when you first enter the room. You can't help but draw parallels to the Crab Champion's bride when you seen her upon the wall of Kyuden Hida. Even without seeing her face, just the way that she's kind of covering herself with the fan is enough to sort of draw the comparison.
I'm gonna look at Kurokami and see how he's reacting. To kind of poke my head round and be like, oh fuck.
Can I make an earth roll to try to hide my reaction? Or
It's a sincerity roll.
sincerity roll to hide my reaction?
Yeah.
Can I roll insight to try and read them?
Yes, you can.
Kisho roll petty and pull out his own fan.
Not gonna be it done by the Empress.
Oh.
What
thanks for
was
the
insight again? It wasn't a low skill, was it? No.
It's a high skill, I think,
High
insight.
skill and
Ooh.
Thank you, Eddie. Much love, dude.
acting, artisan, there's investigation and sincerity. There's no
I think
actually.
I think it's an opposed sincerity, or it
Oh,
might
is
be.
it okay?
Might be sincerity versus investigation, actually.
Do you want to double check, or will I just? What do you want me to go for?
I will double check quickly.
Yeah. Please be investigation.
High skill sincerity. And... Doesn't tell me anything. Cool. It would be investigation.
So, so investigation. I'm trained.
Yeah.
Ah, damn it.
Kurokami, you're able to keep a straight face.
Yeah, I'm
not
kind of like.
reveal any of your
Seems
emotions.
composed. Seems
Yeah.
composed. That's fine.
I
Kinda
spent
lean
some
back
time
and back
training
to
with
the position.
the Emerald Champion for exactly this kind of moment.
The Emerald Champion sort of leads you in, he sort of motions for you to sort of take positions in front of the throne. He immediately goes and takes his position on the left-hand side of the Empress. And you see the Jade Champion is already present here as well, and she is standing on the right-hand side of the throne.
So I guess what
The
Ren doesn't see is when I do get a glimpse of her, my right hand twitches as if it's about to like reach upwards to my shoulder to grab my big fuck off sword.
which you won't have.
Of
in the
course I
past.
don't. It's like PTSD trigger. Like,
Yeah,
oh, it's the
like
bitch I promised I
instant-
would kill,
yeah.
but it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, in the Imperial Palace, you're not allowed to be armed at
Oh,
all.
for certain. Yeah, no, I know that. It's muscle memory.
Girl, on the other hand, is going to blush. This is a great honor. Not to mention, she's pretty, like really pretty. This is a girl worth fighting for.
Or you
According to the
just
comic
met
book
your
soldiers.
wife. You just met your wife, sir.
Yeah, so how are the rest of you feeling about your first audience with the Empress?
Nervous. Like again, I'm very fresh and new to the role, and it had barely left like the halls of Shirokuni, but now I find myself in front of the Empress herself, so I'm kind of like Ren's like nervous twitches is just going wild. He's like he's got his hands at his side and he's just like cracking his fingers. As he's like, oh, I hope to God one of them speak up first.
Shibashir is definitely breathing just heavily, but like not showing any emotion whatsoever. Like he knew it was a possibility that this might happen at some point, but definitely like wasn't expecting it right now.
Kuro's trying to hide how flustered he is. And that's
God,
all.
everyone's freaking out.
He's like, this is a great honor for him. Bound had got her eye on him at any point, and now he's just like, oh man, oh fuck, she's hot. Like this weird moment, like imagined her without any clothes on. Oh no, she's hot.
Dishonor.
That's not what I meant.
Okay. Kisho, how are you feeling?
Kisho is bowing a little more deeply than anybody is used to seeing him bow, but it's very much he's looking between the Empress and the Emerald Champion.
Can you all give me etiquette rolls?
Thank God I have points in
I
that
will
now.
gladly.
Oh, what a terrible roll.
Jeez. Oh, that's actually not bad for being unskilled.
So before I roll, and are our void points back to 2?
Yeah,
Since
your void points will all be back to maximum, and you'll
Oh.
if any of you had any injuries, you'll be back to full health.
Can I use a void point to bump my etiquette up to 2?
Yes, you can.
I'm gonna roleplay the fucking
No!
shit out of this part, man.
God!
Still not great.
Okay. Kurokami.
Oh my god, he's worse than me.
Aced it.
He's eating a bag of Cheez-Its while he's bowing.
Kurokami, you spent time here at the court before. Obviously, the Crane clan invented the court system in Rokugan, and they hold high standards of etiquette and stuff like that. So you're the first one to properly drop to your knees, full prostration on the floor, head touching your hands in front of you before the Empress. Kisho, you very quickly follow that, and the other three, there's a moment of like, oh, what should we do here? But then you kind of notice Kurokami and Kisho and how they're positioned and how they're postured, and you kind of follow suit. But it's obvious to the Empress and the Emerald Champion and Jade Champion that the three of you weren't quite sure how to react in the presence. Rin, your honor is so low at the moment that you're not going to lose any honor for this.
Oh, thank Christ.
There's no expectation.
Kuro, what is your honor rank at the moment?
7.5.
You lose a single point of honor. Shira, what is your honor at the moment?
9.
Then you lose 2 points of honor.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, down to the
The
gutter with
Empress.
you, bro. Just kidding.
Empress and the two champions expect better of you. But they don't expect much from a crab, to be fair.
That's
As
succession. The more I lose on it, the more I'm thinking about that succession.
Ren's just sitting with his head down, like cracking his fingers, going, "Someone speak up! Someone speak up! Someone speak up!" And then he look and be like, "Oh fuck!"
I'm not speaking before the Empress speaks. Fuck no.
Once all of you are like on the floor, heads pressed against your own hands, that is the point where the Empress sort of closes the fan that she was holding, and glimpsing up all of those stories, all of the rumours that you've heard about how fair and beautiful that the Empress of Rokugan is. They're all very much true. But in the back of your head, you can't help compare her to the wife of the crab champion who you met at Cud and Hida. And some of you personally might, compare your own spouses or betrothed to her. But even as much as you love them, they probably still fall that little bit short. She gives you this. It's barely a smile that you can see on her face. Emerald Magistrates, I would like to personally thank you all for your duty to the Empire. And I have been informed that a new Jade Magistrate has been brought into the service of my court. That you were all there when the Empire went to war, and that you all conducted yourself honourably and to your highest standard in my name. I have been informed of everything that has happened from both the Emerald Champion and Jade Champion. It concerns me, but the Emerald Champion himself told me that some amongst you are strong-willed and felt that this would be best coming from my lips and not his. That while you are in service to the Empire, you act as both the eyes, ears, mouth of the Empire. You also act as both scroll and sword to the Empire. That your place is not on the battlefield against the Crab Clan at this moment in time. Unfortunately, the Empire doesn't seem to be at peace since my rise to the throne. Recently, similar to events that happened within the Crab provinces before all of this came to pass, similar deaths and disappearances have been occurring elsewhere in the Empire, with increased speed since the war has broke out. Some of you may not be pleased with the request, but you will be sent to the far west reaches of the Empire, into the lands of the Unicorn. There seems to be trouble arising in the Empire's northern and eastern borders. She sort of looks over the five of you to see if any of you are even considering objecting to being sent further away from where all the fighting seems to be taking place.
There is no motion from Kisho.
Can I keep that 38 from earlier?
I really
Cool.
want to ask why. I
Just
really want to
leave.
ask why. I'm not fucking going to question the Empress.
Kuro's good. Like he saw his dad doing planning. He's like, yeah, it's a good hands. Whatever. Let's just not want to be there. Whatever. Don't care. Nope.
I'm not in the position right now to be questioning. I'm just going to follow what she says.
She sort of lets the silent sort of sit in the throne room for a few moments too long. Those of you who are more politically minded kind of sense that the tactic here is to leave it so long that you start to feel uncomfortable and it becomes harder for you to hide what your true emotions are. So Kurokami, seeing as you asked if you could keep that 38 from earlier, no you cannot. Can you please roll another sincerity roll?
Okay.
And Rin, can you also roll a sincerity roll? Since you want to ask questions of the Emperor?
I was literally about to say, so at this point, can I go? Can I ask why we've been sent so
Natalie
far
gave
from
me
the
a
battlefield?
+1 keep one. Natalie gave me a +1 keep one earlier.
Yeah, so roll another d10.
Roll another d10.
Nobody's helping you. Nobody's helping your boy.
Nah,
Sincerity.
Yep,
Oh
sincerity.
no! Fuck. Cool. How bad is
Oof. Oof.
it? Is it bad? Oh god.
I don't feel like a 19 beats the Divine Dragon Empress.
No. She, prior to being the Empress, she was a Kitsuki investigator. And nothing escapes her gaze. You can feel her sort of studying the five of you at first. But then Kuro, Kisho, and Shiro, you almost feel a weight come off you. And that focus, it's almost like psychic pressure on the two of you. You can feel her gaze sort of narrow down to
It's like it's
Kurokami and
crushing
Rin.
pressure.
Is there an objection to what I am asking Kikita Kurokami of the Crane Clan?
I swore an oath, Your Grace. I trust in your wisdom. Divinity seeks to right wrong. I trust that this task you have set before me will not keep me from such.
Wise choice of words. I'm sure if you're eager to seek vengeance or seek the enemies of the Empire, then this task will not fall short of that. And you, Kunai Ren of the Crab Clan, I sense you have a question that you wish to ask.
It is not in my place to question your word. Part of me wonders why we've been sent so far from the battlefront, but it must be like Master Kurokami. I swore an oath to my late lord to trust in your word and serve you as best I can. And if this is what you deem of us, then I will go without question, as it must be part of some greater plan of yours. But part of me still wonders why so far, and why the unicorn.
She sort of stares like right through you.
He's pretty much breaking his fingers at this point with his fucking anxiousness.
The disappearances and deaths have been not quite as mysterious as they were within the Crablands, or at least as far as I'm aware from the late Lord Hida's description of what had been happening. There's two things that I would wish from you in this situation to confirm whether or not these deaths and disappearances are the action of the apparent Spider Clan. And to keep an eye on the unicorn. During the 30 years where the throne sat empty, and the imperial capital was watched over by the former shogun of the empire, the Khan of the Unicorn Clan, even though they were still Torturi descendants who had a stronger claim to the throne, were still proclaiming that they were the rightful heirs. The Khan of the Unicorn felt that he had the right to ignore their claims, and the Unicorn Clan marched through the lands of the Lion and right to the ferry gates of Otosanuchi when the throne sat vacant. It brings the loyalty of the Unicorn Clan somewhat into question, considering what has happened within the Crab Province. The Unicorn worship gods, not the kami of Rokugan, but they still pay heed to Gaijin gods. And the suspicion is that maybe some amongst the Unicorn may not hold so strongly to proclamations of the kami as maybe some of the other clans may do. And with forces distracted in the south with the Crab Clan, if there are any within the Unicorn Clan who would like to take their own attempt at seizing the throne of Rokugan, the southern distraction would prove a ample opportunity for them to do so. I don't want you to antagonize the Unicorn, though. You're there to investigate murders and disappearances, and that keeping an eye on them should be done subtly. It's a precaution, but one way or the other, I believe that there are enemies of the Empire in that part. Is there any further questions any of you would have of me?
The Pretender has your face.
Oof.
Fuck.
She should know.
She moves her eyes back to you. In the light in the room, you can actually kind of see that, like, most Rokugani have dark eyes, either like dark brown or near enough black. But as the light catches her eyes in the right direction, you can see that there's a green tint to them. The Pretender has my eyes. You speak of this this woman who has married the Crab Champion, or my face, you say.
Are they identical or just like very similar?
Similar, not identical.
Okay.
Or not even quite similar. The level of beauty between the two of them is
Okay, just-
comparable.
Right. It's not like bone structure, like they don't
No.
have like identical cheekbones and stuff. Okay.
There's no
It's
familiar.
just-
Yeah.
But
Alright,
they
But
so
kinda-
it's not-
metaphorically.
Yeah, they
Okay.
kind of hold themselves similarly.
but just like the sheer beauty of them, like you can only connect it to this wife of the Crab Champion.
Yeah,
Okay.
like, oh well, she obviously holds herself like an empress, but the Crab Champion's wife also kind of held herself quite regally. Both of them are beautiful in their own ways. But yeah, Like, other than that, it's easy enough to draw comparisons to the two, but like, on a literal sense, they aren't anything physically alike.
Okay. Then I meant it metaphorically.
Yeah. I suspect that if someone is claiming to present a rightful claim to this throne, that they would carry themselves in much the way you'd expect someone of the Imperial line to. It's troubling nonetheless to know this as a comparison that you could draw.
May I?
Maybe one day I will actually meet this woman. Now, keep in mind, the Empress isn't like some defenseless, shrinking violet of a woman that needs to be coddled and protected. The contest to determine who was going to be the next Emperor of Rokugan involved physical challenges as well as mental ones, including dueling and displays of martial skill.
This is another reason why like Rin's kind of sort of not shy of terrified right now because like from what he get told by the Jade Magistrate,
Yep.
that basically she kind of overcame the stronger foes just by like tactics and like mentally fucking incapacitating them. So I'm like, oh my god, don't say anything else, she'll like rack your brain.
And what are the threats from within while we are away?
Well, if Master Bayushi, if the Spider Clan are as skilled in infiltration and as honey-lipped to even manipulate their way into the hearts of the Crab Clan, a clan well known for having hearts all practically made of stone, it would make sense that they could spread their influence and weave their webs all across the Empire. Who knows, there may even be whispers within the courts of both the Dragon Clan and even the Scorpion Clan that come from the lips of spiders.
And what of the Imperial Court?
I have no doubt that there may be even agents here in the Imperial Court. That is why only the 5 of you are currently in this room, along with both champions.
Would it be presumptuous for me to ask something of her?
Depends what you're asking.
Just do it.
Depends if you want to gamble with your honor points or not.
See, here's the thing, though, is that I took the disadvantage contrarian at the beginning of the campaign, and that's why I'm always pushing the envelope, is because I have to fucking... So I'm gonna do it.
Do it!
Your Majesty, I would ask a favor that only one such as yourself can grant. I would ask that you...
She
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
lightly nods her head. Go on.
I would ask that you recognize the oath that I swore to strike down that which seeks to usurp you. That you would bless my blade in your name to defend this empire. That Oathkeeper be true to its cause.
Then you have my blessing as Empress of all Rokugan. That your blade will have its opportunity to make clear that oath that you have made.
I prostrate myself once more. And utter thanks.
Is there any further questions?
My mouth is locked up tighter than a secret given to the scorpion.
Then, one final thing that I must ask of you, that your task here, your intentions, your purpose for being in the western regions of the Empire, that information cannot be passed to anyone outside of this room. I know some of you have a tendency to send letters to members of your own clan to inform them of your whereabouts and your tasks. Our eyes sort of settle on Kisho, and that some of you even have family within the Imperial Court who you share and ask advice of. Shifts to Kuro. But sharing a task that I have granted you when I have told you not to will be met severely. You can see this sort of sternness on her face. And unlike when the spider, wife of the crab, gave you that sort of stern, unhappy look from the walls, and it momentarily disrupted her beauty. When the Empress of Rokugan gives you that look, it's still beautiful, but it's like the coldness of a statue sort of beauty.
Oof.
Taking your silence as a agreement, then I dismiss you to go and prepare yourself for your journey west. Remember, the Unicorn Clan do not behave or function the same as most clans within the Empire. With that, she sort of sits back in the chair and sort of flips her fan back out and sort of covers her face, which indicates that you are allowed to stand and look.
I'll be the first to get up and thank her and bow and make my way out of the room as quick as possible.
Right after Ren, I'm getting up, deep brow, and I am hauling good ass. Not running, but steadily making my way out of court.
Yeah.
Ren's going to have a few heavy sighs out the front, when he's out the door, and be like, "That's just to himself, think that he thought himself as somewhat of not a courtier, but he had some kind of presence in court, and after that he's like, oh my fucking god, I need to reevaluate my decisions."
Kuro's just gonna head right past him. He's gonna go talk to his uncle, basically be like, "Hey, I wish you luck on the war front." That's it. He's not gonna. The Empress that made this man almost pissed himself.
Yep. I'll get up after Kuro, and I'm just gonna go get Shinigami and get my stuff ready.
Okay.
I get up and leave and bow and all that stuff too, obviously, and then get out of there and beat myself up mentally for not handling that correctly. And also probably breathing very heavily as well.
Yeah.
Kisho is gonna wait till everybody else leaves to rise and stand. And he's gonna look to the Emerald Champion and to the Empress.
Nope, Chuck just froze.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
And if my daimyo does not know what we do, how can we protect from within? You are imposing a threat upon me that is surely the same that will be given to me when he finds out I am withholding information from him.
The Emerald Champion takes a few steps
Popcorn.
towards you from the throne, and you can see that his hand very, like, you barely notice the movement as it sort of comes out of his sleeve and moves onto the hilt of his katana. If the daimyo of the Scorpion clan has an issue with any orders given directly from the Empress, then he can voice those concerns to me. And if you are asked, you can inform him that I said as much.
Keisha bows his head.
Chuck fucks.
Chuck's not got any honor to lose at this point anyway.
No!
He's playing fucking fast and loose.
And Keisha fucks.
And he kind of smiles behind his mask, and he bows and he turns and leaves.
You can't help but feel... You know the Emerald Champion is watching you as you leave, but you feel that heavy gaze of the Empress, and you're fairly sure if that you were to turn your head around, you know it'd be a bad idea to do as much.
Yep.
But you reckon that that fan that she had covering her face would be lowered so that she could watch you leave the room.
Yeah.
And with that, we'll end the session there. You guys are being issued your new orders to head west into the lands of the Unicorn. To tread lightly and keep your eye out for any signs of enemies within the Empire. And that brings us to the end of session 11 of Heart of the Empire.
Woo!
Oh
Hell yeah.
boy.
Ooh,
Fantastic shit as always, man.
my
Hell
honor.
yeah.
Your honor, bro.
Stupid dice rolls.
I'm sorry.
Right? I was like, that's my
dice
daddy.
rolls are shit tonight.
Oh,
Two
Leonard.
ranks in etiquette, and I rolled an 11.
I don't think I've had a good dice roll yet. Like a really, really good dice roll. I think the highest was like 22.
Fuck. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. What another fantastic session. I always don't really know what to say after him because it's just like, well, can we just keep going now? Like, damn it.
Right.
Thank you, Andy. You were so
We'll
fucking
make this
fantastic,
twice a
man.
week.
Let's go ahead and do our shout outs. Will, you want to kick us off, homie?
Man. Oh. All right. Yeah. Shout out to everybody here. I haven't said that yet, but you guys are amazing. I love you all.
You're amazing.
This is something I look forward to every single week. So thank you for doing that. But yeah, so tomorrow on my channel, I'm playing Minecraft. I'm playing a mod pack called RL Craft. It's basically got a bunch of dragons in it.
Oh,
I'm playing with my friend. It's going to be a fun time. So that's what I'll be doing tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. Besides that, on Saturday, we're playing Deadlands on this channel. I'll be GMing
Hell yeah.
for a few people, playing some cowboy stuff. And also on February 5th, we'll be releasing my Patreon.
Woo!
So there's that. You can find all information about that stuff and Dice as well, which is a digital con coming up at the end of March, on Twitter at @TheBurnCoin.
Fantastic stuff, homie. All right, Chuck, what you got going on, buddy?
First off, hey Will, do you have any commission slots open?
I have one.
Okay, Will has one commission slot open. Hi! So, like usual, shout out to all the boys here, my Bushi boys, I love them so much. Same, Sundays, look forward to probably the most. Like, just, it's a good day.
Oh yeah.
Nothing really. Dice Breakers with Andy. Andy's very much waiting on my ass right now, so thank you to Andy. I've got obviously Chuck This Chat getting ready to gear up, as well as the All Goblins, Nothing But Goblins.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, nothing. Just be good to each other. Like, it's been a week.
Oh man, it's been fucking weird.
Be good to each other. Like,
For real.
You all deserve it.
you all
Indeed.
deserve love and respect, and just don't automatically assume somebody doesn't have your best interests at heart, because you may not. Everybody has different views, man. Like, stop trying to kill each other.
Yeah.
Very true.
Like, that's all I got.
Just to piggyback off that real quick, quit trying to fucking dunk on each other for invisible internet points too, you fucking
Oh my
cretins.
god, yes.
Eddie, what's going on, buddy?
With Eddie, on
Eddie
the terms
Johnson.
of love. Oh yeah, I'm very happy because on the terms of love, I have went ahead and sent off the first care package to my boy Chuck. Chuck,
Aw.
you should be getting a package in the mail soon. Very big box, very big things.
very
I
big.
hope you love it. The next person
Amazing.
on my care package list is Andy. And from
Aw.
Andy to Derek, and from Derek to Will. I have been
Aw.
I am making a point of making sure to get you guys things that I know you will like. I will be doing a Ask Andy a question for a whole week, like I did with Chuck, so I can gather information on things he would like to be sent to him in the UK. I already asked one of my British fans. Apparently, mayonnaise is something they like.
He's like, no,
Gross.
no.
Anyway, other than Andy, do you have any slots left? Because I know I already got one booked. I got dibs on that one.
Oh, you've got one booked, okay, and I have three. I think Andrew Kaiser, who was in the chat earlier, he was talking to me about maybe booking one in the near future, but it's not a confirmed thing at the moment.
Yo,
Okay,
that's good.
Andy has 3 slots. I have dibs on one. I'm gonna get in contact with Andy next week, so you guys can't have dibs on that. That's mine. I have claimed it. It is mine. If you try to take it, you're gonna have to fight me, and I've been getting bugged. Support Will's stuff. Support Derek's stuff.
Aw,
I don't care. Is like slowly getting into it. Support his stuff. Next Friday, I am having a fighting game money match. If you
Seen
can
that.
if you can kick my ass, I'll give you some money for it. That's it. You don't have to give money or nothing. As long as you kick my ass, you win.
What game is it?
What time? It will be right after work. I get off at since I'm doing overtime all next week before I go off to Arizona for more work. I get off at 6, so 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time
Okay.
will be the time set. The fighting games, I have decided on 3 of them. I will post them to my Twitter tomorrow, so that way everybody is like, I'm gonna have to practice. While I'm just like, I don't even play these fighting games. If I kick your ass, I'm making fun of you. The big goal is to mess around with the fighting game community. That's all.
Cool.
Yep. Eddie doing some stylish trolling over in the gaming community.
Right?
Pretty much.
That's right.
I saw this one fighting game community. I was like, hey, here's my information. Come at me, bro. The fighting game community is very, very hostile to
They're competitive,
the
right?
Fucking
Yes.
dicks, man.
Yes. I literally had like to close out my DMs after like sending out this one fighting game invitation to this one dude on Discord, because then he sent it out to like all his friends. I was just like, oh man, I'm a lead player, and I haven't seen this much salt in a while.
Awesome stuff, man. Well, that's so
But
cool.
I'm looking forward to it.
Hell yeah, man. That's fucking rad.
Yeah, I'm gonna try tuning in for that.
You're gonna tune in to hear me get mad. That's what you're gonna
Oh
hear.
yeah.
I'll watch you while we're getting
You
ready
should've
for
seen-
EMM, dude. Hell yeah.
Chat heard me scatting the other day and asked me to stop.
I'm like popping. He's like bippity bop. And we're like, what the hell's going on here? Like,
I was setting up the stream, and I was just like, do-do-do-da-ba-da, I'm setting up the stream.
Yep. literally what was going on?
I was scatting it up, and I was enjoying myself. I'm a big fan of jazz. Chuck came in at the wrong time.
That's
I
awesome.
thought it was just like I didn't think I hit start stream. I thought I was like, okay, this is
He
getting
hit
set
our
up.
stream.
Oh no.
Mhm.
Oof.
Oh well.
Well, that's awesome stuff, man. Definitely support the
Thank
homie.
you, thank you.
What have you got going on, Kieran?
I've been doing some thinking over the last week, and I think I had a little
got a
drinking
headache?
Damn.
You're a dick. No, like, I think I had a wee celebration last week after handing my exams in, and I stayed up a bit late drinking. I got quite drunk and had a wee conversation with Derek, I think, at about 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Just about some sort of streams that like I could get into. Like, realise I've got a quite, let's say, a niche sort of like liking of games. I'm going to try and put together some kind of stream for Pokemon Nuzlocke that
Hell
I
yeah.
quite enjoy doing. I mean, I like doing the Kaizo runs or ROM hacks. So like, people have like obviously hacked the ROM, edited the software in it, and changed all the Pokemon you encounter, and the trainers and the gym leaders are a lot more difficult. They're really, really fucking hard. I just like plucking away at them, and so I'm going to try and sort something like that, and even just one kind of evening. If I get it set up and anybody wants to join and help me come up with some nicknames and watch me fucking break my heart crying when I make mistakes and my Pokemon die on me, because I get really, really attached to my Pokemon in these games. But that's kind of something that I'm going to kind of plan to get myself started in some kind of streaming. Something else I might build into too is I'm a fucking old school RuneScape addict, and my account is kind of at the level where I can start doing bosses. So it might be good to kind of stream
There you
that, and
go.
you can see me
Yeah,
fail
cool,
and
right.
get somewhat better at bossing in this game. But that's kind of my two routes that I'm going right now,
Awesome, man.
and I'll
Cool.
keep these updated within the coming weeks.
Awesome. Dude, that's fucking so cool. I'm glad to hear that you're getting excited about doing something different. That's fucking rad, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Welcome in, welcome in. Andy, my homie. What you got going on, dude?
Yeah. Oh. Have I got one? Oh fuck! Last week I had so many things going on, and then I'm like, all of the things came out in the same week.
You got a rest
Uh,
period. That's lucky.
Yeah, I think my internet's been a little bit funny right now. Everything's all laggy. Well, I have Eddie's claimed the commission slot. I have 3 out of 4 commission slots opened. I try and have 4 commission slots a week to fill. Keeps me busy. If I don't have those commission slots filled, then I end up doing other shit. But today, before the L5R stream, I started a collaboration project with Ace Casanova over on Twitter. They cracked out a really cool set of cards for generating a character with a backstory or background and character class, and we are going to be drawing a orc wizard with loads of background details that we have to try and fit into the drawing over the next week. And then we're going to swap the line drawing over from each other and color each other's stuff. If anyone else wants to take part in that, I posted all
You cut out for a second.
He even
What?
left Discord.
Oh,
Oof. Oof.
There he is.
there we go.
Mhm.
I take it. None of what I said just came through.
No.
Got to Discord.
My internet being a fucking dick. Um, so yeah, first thing, I started a collab with Ace Casanova over on Twitter, who is a fantastic artist. They do lots of cute elves and stuff like that. I really enjoy. They did some halflings earlier this week, and like I love halflings. Hobbits are like the best. But we did a thing where we generate the character with a class and race and some backstory elements, and we are going to draw the character. We're going to swap line drawings with each other and then cover each other's stuff. We're going to do a few videos on that. I uploaded all the details about the character onto a Twitter post. I've uploaded the stream that we did just before L5R to YouTube with some of the details, including a link to where you can get the character generation cards from. I might pick myself up a deck of them. And if you're out on Twitter or even on YouTube and you want to take part, you want to try designing the character, or you want to make a character sheet for the character that we've generated or whatever, if you post that to Twitter with the hashtag Orc Wizard Challenge, me and Ace will have a look at it. Next week, Sunday, we're going to try and squeeze in the stream before L5R again. And if people have posted stuff with that hashtag, we'll try and show it off on the stream while we're also talking about our own line work and our design choices for the characters on stream. It's a short stream. Today's stream is like 45 minutes. We're going to try and keep it between an hour and like half an hour, depending how much we've got to talk about. And it's going to be a whole lot of fun. I like doing art challenges because it makes me try things that I normally wouldn't.
Yeah.
So, we are back to Fractured Crystals. With the first session of that since last year. With Punk Drum and Masashi in the chat and my other players. Really looking forward to it. I don't know how many sessions left of that campaign I'm going to be running before we take a break from it and replace it with something new that I'm really excited about. Last Wednesday was my first time doing a new show over on my channel. A Trial by Fire, where we ran a of the Witcher tabletop role-playing game. It was a lot of fun. It was nice and short. Got a feel for the mechanics. We're going to be doing a review of that in 2 weeks. I am currently editing the Twitch stream for the actual play to upload to YouTube, and I have come to a few conclusions from doing that I and take big breaks between sentences a lot. I think I just did it there. And I have literally edited about 15 minutes out of the video of just me umming and ahhing and going, yeah, maybe we can. So it's made me a little bit more aware of some things that I can maybe improve on as a GM as well, which is handy. And I have mostly positive things to say about the Witcher role-playing game. There's a few things that I'm not keen on, but when we do the review episode, you'll hear all about that, and you'll also hear the opinions of all the other players. We have the next game for that lined up. We actually have 2 games that are kind of happening back to back. We have a special one with the Bushy Boys, or some of the Bushy Boys. Eddie can't make it
that week. Sorry,
Eric's moving that week. He can't make it, but we're going to be playing Kids on Bikes.
I'm sorry, I have work in Arizona.
Fucking yes.
It's the military fault.
Seeing as we're missing 2 player slots, then I'll probably be looking for 2 players to fill those gaps. But I'll post something about that closer to the time. Then on the usual Wednesday slot that I'll usually be doing Trial by Fire for, we're also going to be playing a Caltrop core game called The Weird Project by Hypnos. What is Hypnos' Twitter handle again? Mechanical McLeod on Twitter. designed a Caltrop core game that you supernatural agents fighting Nazis during the Second World War. It's very heavily inspired by Hellboy and Wolfenstein.
Killing Nazis.
There he goes.
Oh,
Oh,
He's gone again.
yep. Maybe.
Badoo.
There we go.
Oh my god. What the fuck? Right. I'm so happy it's happening now though and not during the session. What was the last thing I heard?
Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein, yeah. But his game is based on Hellboy, or inspired by Hellboy Wolfenstein. He's going to GM it for Trial by Fire, which means I get to play in it. And, being a one-shot, I am definitely going to rock a Hellboy style character.
Oh,
It's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, commission slot, some new stuff happening on the Twitch channel, and yeah. Also, me and Derek released our PDF of Fae related for 5th Ed, which is available on Ko-Fi. I was going to look at how to upload it into Drive-Thru this weekend. I didn't ever get around to doing that, but I'll look into that during the week.
And you should pick it up because it's a very good time.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Apart from thanks to you guys for another great session. I really love doing the downtime stuff. It gives everybody a bit of personal story time.
Ugh.
Oh yeah.
Had 2 kids and lost 2 honor.
Oh, crazy kids for honor, bro.
It's equal honor.
That's
Yeah,
you
dude,
just
we
went
did-
through.
So,
That was a parenting simulation you just went through. That's the truth right there.
we just did a downtime session last night for Covet, and that ended up going like 5.5 hours. So yeah, downtime sessions fucking slap, dude.
Yeah, they're great. But yeah, that's me promoting the new art collab commissions and the new play and review show on the channel.
Fantastic. Awesome stuff, man. Yeah, I got to catch a little bit of your stream before I had to hop in the shower before Heart of an Empire, but those cards were fucking beautiful, and it got me like super excited to like use a deck of tarot cards or something to make like super important NPCs for Covet Syndicate. I'm gonna find a way to make that a thing. I don't know how, but I'm definitely gonna do it because I have a tarot deck and it's fucking sick.
I have a tarot deck that came for World of Darkness for Mage the Awakening. It gives you a breakdown of how you can use them to generate a mage character for World of Darkness, but you could probably alter some of the things to fit a generic character generation thing.
I might be able to like rip off the Taraka idea in a way and like use that as like a method of character creation. I'll figure it out. If I figure it out and I decide that it's good, I might make it into a thing and put it out. We'll see.
Yeah,
that's
that
like a
could be
whole
pretty cool.
project. That would be cool though.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to make some more projects. I got pretty much everything knocked out that I had to at the end of the year, and I've been kind of breathing a sigh of relief through January as we finished our release, and I think I'm ready to start taking stuff on again after we're done moving in about 2 weeks. I'm ready to like take on maybe 1 or 2 more projects. So keep an eye out, keep an ear out, and I'll let y'all know. But thank you to everybody for being here. Thank you for joining us. I look forward to this we all say it, but I mean it's so true. I look forward to this all week, every week, dude. It's so fucking phenomenal, man. Andy is just such a masterful storyteller, and he knows these systems so goddamn well. It's such a fucking privilege to get to play at his table, dude.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is Curse of Strahd, Rise of Alma. Technically it's Monday, or
Is it
Tuesday.
Monday?
No, technically it's Tuesday
Oh,
at
You
12:30
scared
a.m.
the crap out of me when you said that. I was like, what day is it?
No, I'm saying technically it's Tuesday that we play, 12:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. My D&D 5e one-on-one with my boy Ted. It's a lot of fun. Things are really starting to get fucking crazy, and I'm really excited about it. RimWorld streams this week, and then the long-awaited return of I'm the Medic Mori on Friday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. We are all super hyped. We have some more promo material that we're going to be releasing this week. New ads went up today. You can expect to see a little something coming up within the next couple of days as well. So keep an eye out for that. Check out the book. It's really fucking cool. I had a really good time making it, so that tells me that it's probably pretty good, pretty decent. I know the artwork is worth the money alone, for sure. It's fucking outstanding. Yeah. There's something I was supposed to say. Oh, yeah. Shoutouts to Jihan for the second fucking Divine Intervention. Genkoi in chat. Second ever Divine Intervention. Well, that's gonna be fun. I don't know what the fuck that's gonna be. I'm sure it's gonna suck for us, probably. Or at least, maybe it's somebody else's turn. Maybe it's somebody else's turn. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe I'll let you guys have this one.
Oh,
Unless Jihan really wants to, fuck the players over.
Have you ever got a divine intervention?
Nah, no one likes the player cards.
nah.
Pain. So much pain.
But yeah, thank you again for joining us, everybody. We're gonna go ahead and raid into Dogfaced Gamer. He is a homie of the channel. Unless anybody else in my homies, do you guys have anybody that's playing as Lantern Noir live right now?
Nah. Not yet.
Nah.
All right. Well, sorry, homie. We would love to raid in again, but unfortunate. We will see you guys tomorrow, and then we will see you next week for more Heart of an Empire. Thank you guys. You've been wonderful. We love y'all. Bye.
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 All right.